two separate worlds, opposites, yet alike in so many, many ways. Both these worlds are engaged in an eternal war with each other. The war of good versus evil, which is which you decide.
Keep still right there, and about 1, 2, 3 of those motherfuckers, I'm out of here.
I wanna. It's like I need to.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife and a daughter and a son. All he did was try to speak for all of us. And I'm so tired of the hatred and the narratives. The patriots ain't dangerous, woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed the father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud. And you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie.
3, 2, 1, go!
Arms of the angel, fly away from here.
I'm so sorry that I'm so stale. I'm so sorry I'm stale.
And as we were talking about
I really don't know how to put this in fucking words, man. It has been an absolute fucking insane week. And under most circumstances, I usually try to be funny. I try to keep it light and shit like that, but I've been finding it very hard for me to do that this week, just due to the events of everything that had happened. Now, I want to preface this by saying, under normal circumstances, I would be telling you guys about how my week has been, asking you guys how things have been going with your week, the whole nine, doing all of that. But that's pretty much what a majority of my week is going to be. Is what I'm going to be talking about, because like ever since what happened, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're about to. That's all my mind has been on this week. I know that Camp Zool was a thing. I know that Gorefest is coming up. If it hasn't already started, I'm not sure. And I know Padre, the fifth coin, went down. But these are events that I cannot put on because I didn't go to any of them. I didn't watch any footage. Instead, I have been eyeballing TikTok, YouTube, X, and seeing the things that have been happening out in the real world. And yes, Matthew P., that's exactly what I'm talking about. Not just Charlie Kirk, but also some other things that had happened. I wanted to cover, I'm also planning on trying to cover the Colorado shooting as much as I can. And one of the things that really hit close, and I know that this happened a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, August 22nd is when this happened. The Ukrainian girl, Irina Zarinska. That was actually one of the first things that I wanted to talk about, and that's, if you were here at the very beginning of this show, before my intro even hit, you heard a montage of different songs to talk about everything that had happened this that I've been glued to. And I'm really not trying. I'm trying not to fucking push this to the side as if it's unimportant or anything like that. But I just want to tell you something. At the gathering of the Juggalos, I ended up camping out with a bunch of homies here from YouTube. One of them being Mr. McInhose, who I hadn't talked to in a while, hadn't seen in a while. He ended up telling me that he unsubscribed from my channel because of the political stuff that I was talking about the Trump shit from a few months ago. It just so happened that the gathering of the Juggalos was coming up, and that was a good segue out of the political stuff that I was adding onto the show to talk more about the gathering of the Juggalos events and everything like that. And I put my whole heart, soul, focus into the gathering of the Juggalos. But I still have a keen interest in politics, and because of what happened this week, I honestly feel like it is important to talk about that stuff. What he told me was that because of the stuff that I had been covering is considerably dangerous. Well, no fucking shit, it's dangerous. It's politics. And in this day and age, you can literally get shot for stating your opinion, which is what I have been doing since I first started YouTubing. So as far as I'm concerned, and thank you, Illegal, I appreciate that. So as far as I'm concerned, this is my channel. And if you don't like it, fuck you. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if you're my enemy. You don't have to watch. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm probably certain that what I'm about to fucking talk about, you know, given the events of what happened this week, I might end up getting myself fucking killed too one of these days. Go ahead and do that. Make Crazy McCormick a fucking martyr. It's not like a whole bunch of people already don't know who the fuck I am. I personally feel like that this is an important situation. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is Irina Zhurintska. So if you don't know who this is a Ukrainian refugee girl, about 22 years old. 2022, her family immigrated to the United States. They were living in Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, somewhere in that general area. This poor girl, on her way home from a hard day's work, ends up being a random stabbing victim.
There's growing outrage today over the brutal murder of a beautiful 23-year-old waitress on a commuter train. The accused killer has a history of violence and mental illness, yet was free on no cash bail.
Oh, there is some fucked up shit that went on with this shit, I tell you what. And yes, very young, very beautiful girl. What makes it important to me, though, is the fact that I have a daughter around that age. I have two daughters around that age. So this is one of those things that fucking really hits at the heartstrings.
The facts that many outlets have shamefully and intentionally failed to report until President Trump drew attention to it.
Disturbing surveillance
Look at this.
video.
Look at it. Like, she just innocently is coming into this motherfucker right onto the transit on the way home, not bothering anybody.
Shows Irina Zhurintska, a refugee from war-torn Ukraine who sought peace and safety in the USA, stepping onto the train after finishing her shift.
And there's dude right there.
In the seat behind her is 34-year-old Carlos Brown. Watch as he slowly opens a pocket knife, then stands and without warning plunges.
Yeah, 3 times in the fucking chest. Now, they stop it right here so that way they don't show it on television. You can't find, I mean, unless you go on Twitter, I'm pretty sure you can't find an uncensored version of this, because even the uncensored versions that they put up on here on YouTube still blurs it out or something like that. You can still see the movement of the dude stabbing the shit. Now, look, for a group of people that listen to fat rapping clowns, we understand that listening to this music is satire. It's not real. It's like wrestling. This is one of those things that should still affect you.
The knife into his victim in an unprovoked attack. He strides away, and at first, even Irina doesn't seem to realize how badly wounded she is.
And did you notice the guy with the fucking gray sweatshirt is literally trying to actively not look at the poor girl? Look at her. Look at her. What makes it even bad, like, okay, through the midst of all of this fucking... Hold on, let me try to see if I can fix this.
Watch as he slowly opens a pocket knife, then stands and without warning plunges the knife into his victim in
3 times.
Unprovoked attack. He strides away and
like, look at her. She is in shock, disbelief. She herself is having a hard time grasping what the fuck just happened and why. Why? Why was this poor girl fucking stabbed for no real reason? The girl did not deserve this shit. And this look of shock and horror and disbelief, I'm pretty sure her last fucking thoughts could have possibly been, I came to this country for the security and freedom that America provided, and this happens. It's so fucking heartbreaking, bro.
First, even
like, And then she looks at that dude, and all that dude can do is not look. I'm sure if it was madness on that train, that dude would have gotten the knife taken away from him and his throat fucking slit.
Irina doesn't seem to realize how badly wounded she is, but her life is ebbing away. We spoke with WSOC TV reporter Hunter Sines.
It's surreal that this was so random of an act and so blatant of an act. And when you see that video, I think every one of us who use the light rail system say it could have been us sitting in that seat.
The video is catching the...
Now, you can see the blood trail and stuff like that. The blood is not dripping from the weapon, from the murder weapon. That's way too much blood to be dripping off of the knife. The dude cut himself on the way. So, like, you'll see him take his fucking hoodie off and wrap it around his fucking hand to stop the blood flow.
Attention of President Trump.
A beautiful young girl that never had problems in life.
And it turns out that like no one would have known about this shit if Donald Trump didn't fucking talk about this.
With a magnificent future in this country.
Yeah, that's the thing to me.
And now she's dead.
The story has trickled up from local news to...
No, and so from what I understand, nobody helped her out until that dude left the train. By that time, she had already lost enough blood to fucking be dead on the train. This poor fucking girl. Like I said, you know, like I have daughters her age. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it so worrisome. It's what makes it so heartbreaking. Like, I remember being 22 and, you know, just young and full of life with the road ahead of you, not knowing where it was going to go, and that's the adventure. And her adventure is cut short because of some fucking schizo.
Social media and now to the president's attention, and it's being used as a political symbol with MAGA media calling
I don't
for
blame that.
forceful punishments.
Brown had been arrested 14 times and had served...
That's why, Anthony. Here's the thing. This dude has been arrested 14 times. 5 years for armed robbery. This dude's 34 years old at the time that all of this happened. Stabbing the girl as of a week and a half ago.
5 years in prison for armed robbery. His mother says he's schizophrenic. Irina escaped the war in Ukraine in 2022 with her family.
Oh, that's a nice
She loved
picture.
animals and was working in a pizza parlor, hoping to put herself through college and become a vet. The city council is beefing up security on their light rail system in the wake of the murder.
I mean, yeah, but a little too late. The girl's gone, unfortunately. I don't blame you, Illegal. Like, I can honestly tell you this week has been frustratingly and emotionally exhausting for me. Just everywhere I go, I am being bombarded by this stuff. The image of that girl being fucking stabbed is fucking absolutely haunting. Both that and what happened with Charlie Kirk. I couldn't get the Charlie Kirk shot out of my head for 2 fucking days. Now, here's another thing, too. Like, more as the story unfolds, and it turns out, like, okay, somebody leaked the phone call between DeCarlos Brown and his sister who made the call. And some of this is just fucking nuts to me, you know? All right.
DeCarlos Brown Jr., the man who murdered Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina, as she was on her way home after a long day of work, has broken his silence in a leaked audio recording from prison.
How is it that this dude edited the fucking footage a lot better than Inside Edition?
And what he said is deeply disturbing.
What? Hear what he said.
You said something in your body did what? material, put it like this, the material using my body to stab the lady.
The fuck? Okay, yeah. There's your accountability there.
And so she just got stabbed.
Yeah. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason.
You did it for no reason, you fucking psychopath.
But since they did that, now they gotta investigate the material in my body. Since they want to do all that, now they gotta investigate.
What?
It's funny because she's from the Ukraine. She's from Russia, and you know they got a war. They had a war going on against the United States.
So it seems like the sister is trying to reel him in and get him to understand. No, you did it. You're the one who did it. The blood's on your hands. Like, it literally was. We saw footage of that.
So I'm just trying to understand, out of all people, why her?
That's what I'd like to know too, but I think that that's just at random, obviously, because he's a fucking schizophrenic.
Hey, it ain't. I don't have nothing. They just lashed out on her. That's what happened. They lashed out on her. Whoever was working the material, they lashed out on her.
This recording
The
was
material.
leaked from inside the prison during a phone call with his sister, where he claimed that a material implanted in his body by the government was what drove him to kill Irina Zarutska.
Yeah, that was one story I heard. Another one that I heard him say was she was trying to fucking implant voices or a message in his head, and so he stabbed her to fucking make her stop. Psycho. Now, the question about that is that, okay, the people who have been putting him in fucking incarceration, he's been in and out. Whoa. Fucking stupid computer. So, like, he's been in and out of jail 14 times over some random fucking shit and everything. So it's like, what's he fucking doing out? That's the important. If he's this fucking dangerous, which I guess, I don't know, spoiler alert, I guess. They do say in this video somewhere that he did also have previous times where he's attacked his own sister. And I guess the schizophrenia also runs in the fucking family.
The recording reveals disturbing details about his mental state, especially since he had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and believed that the victim was reading his thoughts before the attack.
See, yeah, those are two conflicting fucking stories. The material in his body being one of those things, the other one being, like messages in his head from her. No. She was sitting on her phone fucking watching TikTok until you stabbed her.
What made the horror even worse was the video released afterward, showing Irina bleeding on the floor after being stabbed 3 times, while bystanders ran away without intervening. A chilling example of the bystander effect.
Yep. The look on her fucking face, the just absolute shock and horror. The disbelief that this would happen. Yeah, there you go. I got that white girl. That's what makes people allude to the idea that it was race related. Like, a whole bunch of people just saw you stab her and you had to fucking announce that shit. Now, in the little blur box, by the way, right there, she's still moving, but she's not moving a lot. Alright? She's like trying to pull herself back up, but she can't find the fucking strength. And look at all these fucking people. These people fucking minding their own goddamn business over this shit, watching this dude fucking bleed too.
Multiple camera angles of that senseless killing have now been released, capturing the horrific attack that claimed Irina's life.
Nobody's fucking trying to pay attention.
As passengers looked on in shock. Blood could be seen spreading quickly, while the man responsible, DeCarlos Brown Jr., walked calmly through the carriage, unfazed by what he had just done. For nearly 2 minutes, he lingered inside the train before stepping off, leaving Irina behind without anyone rushing to help.
Until he left. Then they tried to help her. My thought is like, okay, this dude's a violent psychopath, so I'm assuming that they all thought the same thing. If we try to help this girl, we might be next. And nobody was brave enough to help her out in front of that situation.
Those haunting images highlight not only the brutality of the attack, but also the chilling inaction of everyone around her.
That's fucking
Once the passengers
shitty.
on the train finally realized what had happened, several riders rushed over.
Yeah, realized what? No, they realized when they could hear the fucking cutting of flesh and a knife squishing into her lungs and possibly her heart. They just did nothing.
Over and knelt beside Irina, desperately trying to save her.
Sick
Some attempted
individuals.
CPR on the 23-year-old refugee. One man ripped off his shirt to press against the wound, while another sprinted to the operator's cabin to stop the train. But tragically, their efforts came too late.
This is Teresa Stokes, a Harris donor who doesn't even have a law degree, but just made a career criminal and a schizophrenic who beat his own sister when he was out on parole. Pinky promised that he'd behave.
It was
Pinky
revealed that
promise.
Teresa Stokes, a magistrate judge appointed under the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion (DEI) system, is not even a member of the North Carolina Bar.
Gee, I mean, like, that is something that is, I would believe to be rather important, especially for some of the upcoming videos that we might be talking about, and especially one of the main subjects, the main event.
Stokes was not elected. She was nominated by the court clerk. In Mecklenburg County, the current clerk is Alyssa Chin Gary. On her LinkedIn page, she describes herself as a clerk, a diversity and inclusion advocate,
What
and
the
a racial
fuck?
equity organizer. Her stated life mission is promoting reparations.
We are here to honor them, to lift their names, and to continue that intergenerational work that we are required to do to eliminate structural racism.
I don't even want to say that this is due to my race, but I still to this day don't understand that. Like that, why is that still a thing? Why is that still an argument?
Stokes was nominated by Judge Carla Archie. Judge Archie is friends with Eric Holder, Obama's wingman. And
Oh, okay. There's the fucking connection right there.
she was the DEI champion of the year. Did a woman die because of DEI? Just a couple months ago, a guy shot 5 people on New Year's, and Judge Archie sentenced him to a year and a half for shooting 5 people. A year and a half.
A year and a half? Dude, my brother and one of his friends beat a dude to death. He got 15 to life. Some motherfucker shoots 5 people and gets only a year and a half? That's pretty shitty.
This is a DEI court, and they have blood on their hands.
Judge Stokes, the same judge
God!
who released a Karl.
I'm going to tell you this. It looks worse seeing it in full screen on my TV than what you're seeing right there. It is way fucking worse.
Brown Jr.
Look at that shit. DeCarlos Brown, DeCarlos Brown, DeCarlos Brown, DeCarlos Brown, DeCarlos Brown, DeCarlos Brown, 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 Brown. Just. You know, like going back to my brother, all right? When my brother went to jail for that 15 years, he didn't get arrested this many fucking times. So why the fuck is this guy just chilling on a bus? That's what I'm saying. Like, going back to my fucking brother, and this was like, okay, he was in jail in 1993 or 4, I think, by the time this event happened, right? Him and a buddy beat this dude to death, and after a month he turned himself in once he thought that he just beat the shit out of the guy, and the guy would have just been fine or whatever, but they left him there and he ended up dying on the scene. When my brother found out about it due to what was going on in the news, he drank himself into a stupor for a month before deciding to turn himself in. When he went to jail, they gave him 15 years. And they ended up telling him, the judge actually said to him, "You are a menace to society and a menace to yourself, and if my hands were not tied by the law, I would throw the book at you." And it was due to how many times he had been in jail. And it wasn't 14 times. It wasn't no goddamn 14 times. My brother my brother did get in touch with me illegal like maybe a few weeks ago. He has trouble with trying to fucking be a good boy. He looks like the size of a football player compared to that tiny girl. I know, right? She's so fucking small and thin and petite. And it's like, versus this dude who looks like a goddamn fucking running back. But like, just the fact that this dude has been arrested 14 times with a history of schizophrenia, and he's probably not medicated. But dude, the plot thickens with this fucking story though. Hold on a second, let me switch it back over here.
Before he brutally murdered Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska.
She could have been a model.
2019, Teresa Stokes and her wife Ayanna Ballard applied for a marriage license in Michigan.
Ugh. God damn it, they're from fucking Lansing. All right.
Together, they ran a fried chicken sports bar called...
How do you go from working at Wing Heaven to being a fucking judge without passing the bar? You ran a fucking chicken shack together, and not one of you is fucking a judge.
Wing Heaven Sports Haven, and were directors of Pinnacle Recovery Group, a non-profit in Lansing. After moving to North Carolina, Teresa became a magistrate in Mecklenburg County. Her wife, Ayanna, works as a healthcare provider at a mental health and addiction clinic in Charlotte, specializing in court...
Wing Heaven Mental Facility. What the fuck? Did you not notice that she was wearing a fucking lab coat over a Wing Heaven shirt? Like, shades of fucking back in the time when we used to fucking dunk chicken wings in fucking lemon pepper sauce. All right, let's try to help you out with these fucking meds.
Ordered evaluations. It is important to note that Charlotte is in the same county where Teresa serves as a magistrate. This close connection raises questions.
Yes, it does.
Working together in their jobs.
Gee.
Some people think there should be an investigation into the mental health and addiction evaluations handled by Ayanna. It is concerning that her wife is connected to a judge who has been lenient with violent criminals and drug offenders.
Like, dude, here in Grand Rapids, we used to have a guy named Judge Logan. Nobody wanted Judge Logan. Because if you were the first person and you pissed off Judge Logan, everybody else got the shit. Yeah.
Do people find it odd that Teresa Stokes, the judge who released DeCarlos Brown, the killer of Irina Zarutska, was paid more than 10% of the total income from her nonprofit in 2023? Or that the organization lost its tax-exempt status in 2020 and was never officially registered in Michigan or North Carolina?
What the fuck?
DeCarlos Brown Jr. is not the only member of his family with a violent past. His older brother, Stacy Brown, was convicted of murder back in 2014.
Now they plan to put that memorial in a South Charlotte park.
Jesus Christ.
According to court records, Stacy's crime was also shocking in its brutality. In 2014, Stacy Brown, armed with a handgun, decided to take what he wanted by force.
Okay.
He approached a man of Honduran descent, pointed the gun at him, and stole his phone and money. What began
That's a nice
as a
guitar,
terrifying
too.
robbery quickly escalated into a killing tied to armed assault. Police wasted no time tracking him down. Stacy was convicted of armed robbery and possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. He was sentenced to years in prison, described in police reports as a dangerous man undeterred by the law.
But you know, the little bro ends up fucking going in and out 14 times. And this better be it. All right, this better be it, and it better not be the same goddamn judge.
All this corruption led to the death of Irina Zarutska. Sympathy should not be given to anyone who commits a crime, regardless of the reasons they claim or the causes they support. I believe in the saying, exaggerating the fight against racism can turn into another form of racism. Anyone, regardless of their race, black or white, who breaks the law must be held accountable. No criminal should receive special treatment for the sake of any cause. We are all equal under the law.
So, poor girl. Now, from what I hear, like the family of this poor girl. So apparently the family said that they want her buried here in the United States. When they came to America, she fell in love with the American dream and fell in love with this country. And to honor her, she is being buried here in the United States. Despite what had happened, it just really irks me to see something like that happen. Now, here's the thing. Like, I've seen arguments basically trying to defend that guy. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, wait a minute. Okay. I understand that a lot of people on the left are all about Black Lives Matter. But I also understand that a lot of people on the left also are all about free Ukraine. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to lose monetization or have it fully restricted because I'm talking about Ukraine on here. I don't care. I'm just going to point that out. I really do not give a shit. So the question that I have is like, okay, if you're for free Ukraine, but you're also, you know, like, apparently black people fucking can't do any wrong, which is it? This is an unstoppable force moving an immovable object for you at this point. It's a rock and a hard place. Because these are two fucking beliefs and two fucking truths that a lot of people on the left tend to fucking subscribe to. And they're also the type of people that deal in absolutes. Me, on the other hand, I'm not looking at the fact that it's a color issue. I'm looking at the fact that it's a fucking psychopath, schizophrenic that stabbed a girl. That somebody fucking got murdered. And my heart goes out for her. Kind of like how the same thing goes on with this school shooting that happened over in fucking Colorado recently. I believe it was September 10th. So that type of shit ended up fucking happening. It's not a color issue. I would not look at that as a color issue. But I was trying to find something that I could to bring up this whole thing with the Colorado thing and all that, but it looks like that a lot of the stuff that happened, it happened real fucking quick. There's really not a whole lot that I can come up with, but something that I found off of, yes, and I actually ripped this off from the FBI's fucking YouTube channel, so I don't know, is that a crime? If I fucking play something that was originally on the FBI's YouTube channel, I'm going to anyways. Fuck it. So this video is called A Trailer for Echoes of Columbine. This is the reason why at the very beginning of the show I played the Doom soundtrack music. And the reason being is because this is the only thing that I could really relegate to a school shooting. We were all in high school when fucking Columbine happened in 1999. It was a very pivotal moment at that point in time, and it was because a lot of things were blamed in the terms, yes, at Doomsgate. Yes, thank you, Chronic. So with Columbine, Harris and Klebold ended up becoming dual shooters, and a lot of things were blamed. Doom being one of them because they played a lot of Doom. Marilyn Manson being another one because that was the type of music that they listened to, and a slew of other things like Natural Born Killers being one of those things. And so, like, this was a hot ticket issue because that was a lot of popular shit.
Jefferson County 911. Yes, I am a teacher at Columbine High School. There is a student here with a gun. The gun is right outside the library door, okay?
So here, yeah, here's a definite throwback.
49 minutes, 13 dead.
Those two young men stood on the stage and screamed and yelled their rage through violence, and did so in a manner that got worldwide attention.
Columbine has inspired over 80 copycat attacks.
Yeah. Now, I did watch the 25th anniversary of the Columbine school shooting, and they ended up interviewing one of the kids' fathers, and he ended up explaining that he's not against gun violence. He's not against guns, he's against gun violence. And no, it wasn't one of the fathers of the shooters. It was one of the fathers of the victims. He also ended up explaining that there has been, Columbine wasn't the first school shooting. And it's definitely, obviously, not the last school shooting. But at the same time, this was a school shooting that was a pivotal moment. So, like, I remember how things changed when I was in high school after the Columbine shooting happened. 1 year, like I think it was senior year, I came to school in a fucking trench coat. It was my last day at school. And I actually was told that I had to take the damn thing off or else I was not going to be able to attend school. I was like, what's the problem? And they're like, well, a lot of people saw you wearing the trench coat, so, like, kind of got people scared. I was like, that was 3 years ago. Settle down. And not to mention, I think people know me well enough to know that I'm a kitten. I'm not going to fucking do anything. He's like, just please stop arguing with me and just take off the damn coat. Fine. But I had explained it to him that it was supposed to be a costume for theater arts. Which was true. Still, nevertheless, I was not allowed to walk around wearing that motherfucker. But you could clearly see, like, in 99's trench coats was a thing.
They want to become part of the Columbine mentality, or they want to become a Columbine shooter.
At least
Yeah. Now, you know what's sick about that? Given in this day and age, I feel like that there's a lot of people who try to do this school shooting things, not because of, similar events that happened with fucking Columbine. I mean, granted, I do believe that there are a lot of fucking kids who are depressed and lonely and fucking don't see a way out, but they're too fucking, whatever, But also, given the situation of what's going on in the real world, I honestly think that there might be possibly people who are trying to do this because even posthumously, they might end up having a fucking viral moment. As sick and twisted as that sounds, it's probably true. Like George Carlin one time ended up saying that people will do anything. All right? Like, if you were to have an all-suicide television network, people would be lining up to fucking put on funny hats and capes and call themselves Captain Suicide and try to compete over which is the most incredibly fucked up or surreal way to kill themselves. Like putting rat poison on a taco, drinking mop and glow, stuffing mothballs up their ass. He ended up saying that you could probably get a bunch of people to hold hands and jump into the Grand Canyon together if you were to have such a television show. And we pretty much do. It's called the fucking internet. You know, like people are fucking goofy, and they will do anything and everything they possibly can to have somewhat of a viral moment. Even if it means stuffing a fucking chicken foot up their asshole. Which we've all seen it happen a couple weeks ago.
30 people believed to be killed on the campus of Virginia Tech University.
Another possible mass shooting, this one at a community college in southwest Oregon.
Police responded to reports of a shooting at Sal Castro Middle School.
I just realized that I'm still on full screen. Hey! I don't remember his name, but I recognize the forehead.
A school shooting with reports of multiple fatalities, this time in Santa Fe, Texas.
Probably this shooter was operating off the Columbine boilerplate.
Columbine gives them a template.
One of the most common myths about school shootings
Look at this.
is that they can't be stopped, whereas the opposite is true.
School shootings can be stopped. They are preventable.
There were so many places that this event could have been stopped, and that's when I heard the term threat assessment.
Discerning the threat early and mitigating it before an event.
You're able to see the big picture. If it's real to them, it better be real to you.
In most of these cases, the families and parents have no idea what the kids were doing.
We're preventing school attacks around this country all the time.
I can't predict that it's going to happen, but I can prevent it. All we really need is one person who comes forward.
Every threat.
I mean, part of it does have something to do with the lifestyle of a child. I would probably, if it wasn't for my stepfather, I probably could have been persona number 1 to be in my high school, most likely to shoot up the high school. And I personally feel like Virginia Tech was pretty disturbing too. That one chilled me. See, like, here's the fucked up thing, and I don't think I'm alone in this one. I know that there are a lot of school shootings that happen. And I know that there's a lot of other people that also know that a lot of school shootings do fucking happen. The first one that I honestly knew about was Columbine. And it was because of how much news and press was put into it at the time. So when this Charlie Kirk thing fucking happened, and it happened at the exact same day that this fucking Colorado shooting started happening, a whole bunch of people that were on social media ended up fucking trying to downplay the Charlie Kirk murder by using the Colorado shooting that happened at the exact same time as a means to downplay the Charlie Kirk thing. Well, what about this? And I saw somebody on Twitter and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And by the way, it's a close friend of mine. And I'm going to tell you this. This is what I said in retaliation to why somebody would say, well, the Colorado shooting didn't get as much press as the Charlie Kirk thing. And I said, yeah, probably because we've seen it happen so fucking often that the story of the Colorado shooting just wasn't sexy enough. And as dark as that is most likely true. Because, well, let's face it, Charlie Kirk is a fucking star. The Colorado shooting, unfortunately, like a lot of other shootings, it happens all the time to the point where we pretty much become desensitized to mass shootings in our own fucking country. How fucked up is that? It is so fucked up that actually has to be a critical thought. I don't think I'm the only one saying that, though. I'm probably one of the few people that's actually going to vocalize it. But a lot of other content creators that I've seen are either trying to ignore all of this or they're completely laser focused on Charlie Kirk. Now, because of me saying that, that also does not downplay the Colorado shooting, which, by the way, I was trying to find some footage for that in time for the show, but I just didn't have the time because at the last hour before the show started, I had to fucking do some other shit. It's unfortunate, but I do see a common theme with some of these issues, and I feel like part of it has to do with the level of depression that these kids fucking have, a lot of societal pressure that these kids fucking have. You know, Marilyn Manson actually was interviewed during after the Columbine shooting, and he ended up saying, they were fans of yours. What would you have said to them? He's like, Marilyn Manson actually said, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have listened to what they had to say because it's apparent that they had something that they had to say. Which I believe is honestly very fucking true. Just like anybody else that has done these school shootings, they have some sort of things to say. You ever notice that when somebody ever either tries to fucking go on a mass shooting or an assassination, there's always some kind of message or manifesto about why they're doing what they're doing? It's almost like people who commit suicide and they have to write a note before they kill themselves. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens pretty fucking often. Hey, Kreyz, do you like Alex Jones? About as much as I like people putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. I'm so damn sick of this crap! Anyways, it sucks to have to say something like that. But it happens so fucking often that I feel like a lot of people are being desensitized to the concept of mass shootings. We're ignoring it, and it actually fucking amplifies it to happen more often. But it keeps happening so often that we just continue to ignore it even harder. Almost as if to say, look, psychologically speaking, we're sick of hearing about another school shooting. But maybe it's time that we actually start taking a look at not the fact that it happened, but the why. And the reason why I feel is because a lot of these kids are pumped up on fucking drugs. Some of them could possibly live in single-family homes or single-parent homes, so they're not getting as much attention as they need. And somehow they end up getting a hold of a fucking gun and they do this type of shit. And it fucking sucks so much. You know, when I was a kid in elementary school, I got ragged on a lot for being poor, going to a fucking parochial school. And up until the point where I was 26, it had traumatized me and scarred me so fucking much. I had fantasies of either beating the shit out of a bunch of these kids to hospitalization, or becoming famous and rich enough to fucking be able to afford a big, to get in touch with everybody, get everybody to meet at one very expensive or exotic place, all expenses paid on myself, and basically use all of that to be like, I'm rich now, you people can fuck off. But mostly it was the fucking violence. I fought that every day. Up until the point where I was 26 and I would probably say maybe listening to Insane Clown Posse helped that out a little bit, feeling dejected and all of that other stuff. And then when I thought that, I ended up saying to myself, you know, if it wasn't for them treating me the way that they did, I never would have discovered Insane Clown Posse. I never would have listened to the messages that Insane Clown Posse put out there. I would not become the person that I am now. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a juggalo. I'm proud to have met a lot of these other freaks and weirdos, just like myself, that have these same exact thoughts and feelings that I have. And so that made it so overnight, it put me at ease, and I was easily able to forgive them. About 10, I want to say maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I ended up getting hit up by one of those guys. And we ended up meeting in Lansing, and we ate dinner together, and we talked, and we caught up and stuff, and we both let it out. He made fun of me a lot because of the fact that it really had nothing to do with me. It had more to do with him, because he was getting ragged on for the fact that he was diabetic. And I told him that story that I just told you now, about how it really fucked with me, to a point where I wanted to violently react. Even as a kid, all throughout high school, all throughout my 20s, until I was about 26, and then I put all the pieces together. And I kind of realized that the universe do all of that shit for a fucking reason. And that's what put me at ease. And I forgave him. And we've been cool ever since. So, when it concerns this Colorado shooting, I believe 3 people fucking died from it, including the shooter, which I believe that the wound was self-inflicted. There's a couple of other people who were injured, but they're each in hospitals and they're recuperating, as far as I know. And unfortunately, I'd hate to say this, but unless something changes, and it's not going to be gun laws, because, putting up a sign that says, hey, this school is a gun-free zone has really helped out since 1999, hasn't it? Like, putting up a sign is going to, like, seriously, like, just imagine you being a teenager. All right, you've got gun in hand. You walk up to the door of the school. You see the sign, no guns allowed. This is a gun-free zone. Oh, man. I guess I got to put this back in my car. Like, really? No, they're going to fucking say, bam, 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 fuck that shit, clack, clack, motherfucker, bam. Who put up that sign? I'll blow their fucking head off. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's kind of the same rules that happened at UVU. So I think what really needs to be done, it's like, okay, anti-bullying campaigns don't seem to fucking work. The best form of anti-bullying campaign is to punch a bully in the fucking mouth to reestablish your dominance. All right, to let you know that he's not going to fuck with you, and then he'll just leave you alone. And then if he tries to go after somebody else, tell them the secret. Because if he gets his grill blown out enough times, he might just leave people alone. And the same thing goes for when it concerns the bullies then in and of themselves. The only reason why they fucking bully is because they themselves are insecure with themselves. They hate themselves and they want people to feel their pain. That's why they make fun of people. Doesn't matter how big or fat or ugly the fucking bully is, they are going to look for something within themselves, and they're actually going to do that. So you know what you do? If they fucking do that shit, hug them. You know, tell your kids, hug the bully. Give him a little oxytocin. Okay? He's going to need some oxytocin. Stat. Because obviously his dad's not fucking hugging him. He's probably fucking punching him in the mouth because, reasons. That's the reality that we live in. We have a lot of separation in families, a lot of single parent homes. The parent is working their ass off, so they're not giving the person enough love. No, you just keep on fucking doing it. Hug him. Hug the bully. Tell him it's okay. Whisper sweet nothings in his ear. Lick his fucking ear hole. Then he'll beat you up. You don't have to outwit the bully. You don't have to outsmart the bully. I mean, you could punch him in the fucking mouth. Yeah, there you go, Matthew P. Just straight up Robin Williams and Good Will Hunting. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Because it's not. It's not your fault. But like I said before, anti-bullying campaigns don't seem to fucking work. Gun-free zones don't seem to fucking work. Of course it's a gun-free zone. It's a fucking school. Don't do this to me, Sean, not you. All right, we got to talk about the last part. And this is probably the one that's the most polarizing because I have been seeing a whole bunch of fucked up shit happening because of this event. Not this one, this one.
Charlie Kirk was shot and killed today. I can't believe he's dead. I can't believe it.
I picked the Young Turks on purpose. And the reason being is because fuck Cenk Uygur. I hate Cenk Uygur, but it's kind of nice to, see that. Chunky yogurt. As a matter of fact, there was a video that I wanted to download. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let this play, and while that's playing, I'm gonna find the video that I'm trying to look for.
I saw the video. I don't want you to see the video. He got shot in the neck.
I saw the video.
We're taping this live. We don't know who the perpetrator is yet. We're going to give you a lot more details in a minute. But I want to start out by saying my heart goes out to Charlie's family. He had a wife, Erica, who I met in one of our appearances together. He has a 3-year-old daughter, or had, and a 1-year-old son. And violence is not the answer. It's never, ever, ever the answer. It is intellectual surrender. It's saying, I don't know how to win with my mind and with my ideas. Instead, I'm going to resort to violence, and that is a form of intellectual defeat.
Now, let's keep this in mind, Cenk, is the fact that your political party, sir, believes that words are violence, okay? Did you tend to forget that all of a sudden because one of your apropos opponents got shot in the fucking neck? God, I hate this fat fucking fuck.
It is obviously immoral. It is, if you are in favor of violence, you are not on the left by definition. Ours is a peace movement. Ours is a movement of non-violence. If you believe in violence.
Wait. What? Sir. Chickadee, check yourself before you rickety wreck yourself. Your party is a party of nonviolence, especially since this motherfucker has said before that he's slowly leaning more towards the left-leaning independent, right? And my cat is attacking my flag for some fucking reason. Hey, you. Chonky boy. What are you doing? No, you're not allowed to do that. I swear these people think we are stupid. I know, right? Like, he is a prime example. Him, this motherfucker, is part of the reason why this happened. Harry Sisson, Jolly Green Ginger, Dean Withers, Parker, Chris Valente, all from TikTok, are part of the reason why this fucking happened to Charlie Kirk. And yet, here we are with him being like, oh, my condolences go out to his family and stuff. Violence is not the answer, even though this motherfucker is part of the reason why people think that Charlie Kirk was racist, bigoted, Nazi, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, all the phobes. This motherfucker is part of the reason. Because he would spin narratives, and just like everybody else, for the last 10 years, everybody that has been left-leaning and somewhere in the fucking media has spun webs and yarns about Donald Trump being a Nazi, everybody else, or being literally Hitler, and everybody else being fucking Nazis, including Charlie Kirk, and all of these other things. And it's like, you really think that this was not going to eventually happen to someone if you kept saying the shit that you were fucking saying? Like, you have to be out of your goddamn mind to not expect something like this to happen. I think I called it before. I know a lot of other people did. Eventually, something's going to happen to somebody. It happened to Donald Trump. Donald Trump nearly evaded an assassination. I believe that I was talking about that when he almost got shot. All of your fucking bullshit rhetoric that you guys have put out in the past, and Donald Trump almost got shot. Somebody ended up hiding in a bush at Mar-a-Lago to try to shoot Donald Trump a second time. And then there was a lull, and then right in the neck. Which, as I said before, I watched it one time. Could not get the fucking image out of my head. Just the way that the man fucking got hit in the fucking body. The bullet went right through his neck. The way that he fucking recoiled. How he slumped over and blood started pouring out of his fucking neck. It fucking haunts me still. Now that I'm thinking about it. It's terrible what had happened. But it's like, on the real, like, did you really not expect something like this to fucking happen? And here you are, basically trying to save motherfucking face on your show. When let me see if I can.
Okay, you're trying to attack me,
here.
which is ridiculous. Like asking me what my salary
okay,
is.
Hold
sure,
on
I'll
a second.
Willingly.
You brought it up in context. I'm asking,
no,
why don't you live like a socialist?
Okay, so I fucked that up. I'm gonna add a scene just so that way you guys can see. This is highly unprofessional of me, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so give me a quick second.
Okay, you're trying to attack me, which is ridiculous, like asking me what my salary is. Sure, I'll reveal it willingly.
You brought
But
it up
listen,
in context. I'm
no,
asking,
no, no,
why
no,
don't you live like a
hold on,
socialist?
Okay.
Go live like a socialist.
The point is larger. The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk.
guys.
I live as a capitalist,
hey,
okay?
hey.
I live what I believe.
No.
What do? I get charity every single year.
Hold on.
What's my
Charlie,
salary?
Charlie.
Less than his.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Here's how those two actually fucking felt about each other.
Okay, you're trying to attack me, which is ridiculous, like asking me what my salary is. Sure, I'll reveal it willingly.
You brought
But
it up
listen,
in context. I'm
no,
asking,
no,
why
no,
don't you live like a
hold on,
socialist?
Okay.
Go live like a
The point is
socialist.
larger. The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk.
guys.
I live as a capitalist, okay?
hey.
I live what I believe.
No.
What do? I get charity every single year.
Hold on.
What's my salary? Less than his.
Charlie, take a
Come on,
seat.
Cenk, let's go.
Charlie,
What are you doing? Sit.
Take a seat. Take a seat.
Psycho?
All right, no. Take a seat. You're gonna take a seat. You're gonna take a seat over here.
Oh my God.
What's my salary?
All right.
Oh, ridiculous. All right, behave, everyone. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. And by the way, I want to point this out. That's one of the many fucking things that has happened in Charlie Kirk's life that has caused people to be accused of being racist because they misheard what he said. He was calling out Cenk Uyghur. He wasn't calling an Asian person a chink. I just want to point that out, okay? Because Uyghur here is a fucking asshole. Straight up a fucking asshole. Like, no matter what he says, no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, Cenk Uyghur is a fucking asshole. And so, like, this I paint this this idea of a memorial of whatever the fuck it is that Cenk Uyghur is fucking saying about Charlie Kirk. I put it up there along with Dean Withers' crocodile tears when he found out that Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
You are not on the left and you are not for peace. What happened?
Hold
that
on.
is a form of intellectual defeat. It is obviously immoral. It is, if you are in favor of violence, you are not on the left by definition. Ours is a peace movement. Ours is a movement of non-violence. If you believe in violence, you are not on the left and you are not for peace.
Bro, we can go through a lot of these fucking things that have been politically influenced in the terms of murder. Obviously, Charlie Kirk is one of them. Donald Trump being another. And you can argue that one all you want. I don't give a fuck. That dude was a left-leaning nut job. And those are just two of the most recent events that I can think of off the top of my head.
What happened here was an unmitigated tragedy. So we have a lot to discuss here, but let's give you the details of what happened first.
All right.
Yeah, it's unfolding fast, furious, late-breaking, John, today. Charlie Kirk assassinated, happened at an event at Utah Valley University.
Yeah, the last thing that he ended up being asked, and by the way, you can go on Channel 5 and you can see an interview with the very last person that Charlie Kirk ever debated. And they were discussing gang violence, or they were discussing like violence of some kind. And the last thing that he ended up saying was, are we counting or not counting gang violence? Bang. And then, I don't know, you just got to watch that interview. It's pretty lengthy. I was thinking about putting it on here on the show, but I was like 40 minutes. I'm probably not going to do that.
As of bringing you this story at this hour, authorities do not have the suspect in custody.
Yes, thank you, Chronic. Yeah, they were discussing the amount of shooters recently that have been trans, and that actually is in argument with the Christian school shooting that happened 3 months ago, and it turned out that the school shooter was the shooter was actually trans, and that was like a religious-based fucking assault. Children, mind you. You know, from the political party that wants to champion children while killing them in the womb at the exact same time.
Images and videos of the attack are circulating online already. We're not going to show you those images because they are extremely graphic. So you can imagine what went down.
Yeah, but you can watch it on Twitter if you have a fucking iron cast stomach.
In Utah Valley University today. University has closed its campus, canceled all classes until further notice. They said Kirk was shot from a building about 200 yards away from where he was speaking. Here's exactly what happened just before Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. Video posted on social media shows the moment Charlie Kirk was shot, the seconds leading to the incident. Kirk was being asked questions about mass shootings in America. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America in the last 10 years? A person asked. Counting or not counting gang violence? Kirk responds right before he is shot. This account, according to the New York Times. Witness named Tyler McGettigan said he was surprised by the lack of security at this event. I was expecting when I got here that I'd have to pass through some kind of security, but that just wasn't a thing. No one checked the barcode or the QR code.
That I heard from multiple witnesses that they had interviewed. The lack of security was definitely one of those major things.
There's no checkpoint to get in. It was literally anyone could walk in if they wanted.
Chronic is correct in saying that turns out that the shooter was dating a male to female trans person, was involved with the trans and furry extremist communities. Turns out they were also in a lot of Antifa related discords. So what's interesting to me, though, is some of the reactions to what happened with the death of Charlie Kirk. Obviously, we saw one from Cenk Uygur. And then we also get more from the Democratic political people. And I'm going to play for you guys everyone's favorite Democratic socialist.
Thank you very much for joining me. I want to say a few words regarding the terrible murder yesterday of Charlie Kirk, someone who I strongly disagreed with on almost every issue, but who was clearly a very smart and effective communicator and organizer.
Yep.
And someone unafraid to get out into the world and engage the public.
See, that's one thing that I really liked about Charlie Kirk was that he was willing to fucking go out and walk on the coals. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew what he was getting into when he first started Turning Point, and basically the whole goal of what he was doing was to try to challenge ideas, because like at the time, for like ever since Donald Trump ran for president of the United States, it was all bullshit thrown at Donald Trump to try to mudsling the shit out of him, gaslight the fuck out of us to make us believe whatever rhetoric that it was that they were saying about him. And fucking, like, Charlie Kirk was a big supporter of freedom of speech. That's the beauty of what he fucking did. And a lot of people out there say that he basically was trying to spew out hate speech. And I don't know exactly who fucking said it to quote, but I have heard it from multiple fucking people. It wasn't hate speech that he was promoting. He was promoting speech that they hate. And I would say that this is politically fueled because of what had happened.
My condolences go out to his wife and his family.
Where are your mittens?
A free and democratic society.
Republic.
Which is what America is supposed to be about.
Republic.
Depends upon the basic premise that people can speak out, organize, and take part in public life without fear, without worrying that they might be killed, injured, or humiliated for expressing their political views.
I mean, I don't mind being humiliated because that I can fucking get over. I don't want to get injured, and I sure as fuck don't want to be killed over the things that I say, think, and feel.
In fact, that is the essence of what freedom is about and what democracy is about. You have a point of view, that's great.
Yeah.
I have a point of view that is different than yours.
Very true.
Let's argue it out.
Yeah, let's not fucking, do a 10 paces and fucking shoot each other over a difference of fucking opinion. It's not that deep.
We make our case to the American people at the local, state, and federal levels, and we hold free elections in which the people decide what they want.
Yes. Via constitutional republic, and it's not democracy-based voting. So it's not like the 51% over the 49.
That's called freedom and democracy.
Republic.
And I want as many people as possible to participate in that process without fear.
Good.
Freedom and democracy is not
Republic.
About political violence.
I agree.
It is not about assassinating public officials. It is
Yeah.
not about trying to intimidate people who speak out on an issue. Political violence, in fact, is political cowardice.
And I agree to that wholeheartedly. And I believe, Cenk Uygur ended up saying the same thing, but once again, it's the same fucking party that is pushing socialism. It's the same fucking party that also has a group of fuckwads that are all saying stupid shit like words are violence. And apparently fucking shooting somebody in the head, or in this case the neck, it ain't that big a deal. This entire fucking country is pretty much ass backwards at this point. Like, it basically made it to a point where I was like, okay, I'm going to do a litmus test on Facebook, and I'm going to fucking tell people how I feel about this shit. And I ended up saying on Facebook that with everything that was going on, because people are celebrating in the death of Charlie Kirk on X, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky especially, and TikTok. It's absolutely disgusting. And it's like, okay, look, I'm going to put it to you this way. I was born into a Republican family. A good chunk of my family is fucking Republican. We're also big fucking Spartan fans, but that's neither here nor there. During my time when when I turned 18 and I was legally able to vote, I did not vote in 2000 because I was still under the age of 18 at the time. When 2004 came along, I voted for nobody. I didn't vote. 2008 came along, and I voted for Barack Obama, who, as we all know, is a Democrat. And the reason why I did that was because, well, I was a little bit young, a little bit naive. I really didn't pay that much to fucking politics at the time. But what got me was two things. One, the more obvious one, black president. Let's just put it into truth here. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who voted for Obama just based off of his skin color. And don't tell me that it's impossible for that, because I've talked to my mom, and people like, she can confirm that people voted for JFK just because he was a good-looking man. And I'm pretty sure that that's something that Gavin Newsom is expecting. Because let's face it, Gavin Newsom does look like a good-looking man. He's a very handsome man. He's a fucking moron, but he's a handsome-looking man. And I'm thinking that's possibly something that he is banking on in the hopes of becoming president of the United States in 3 years. Which is not going to fucking happen, mind you. Because if you're not paying attention to California... Let's just say Cheech and Chong ain't the only ones that are up in smoke in California right now. You know what I'm saying? The Palisades, for an example. Now, the second thing about Obama, the reason why I voted for Obama, this is the second reason. There was actually a blurb on his website that actually compared the views that Obama had to the Juggalo subculture. They actually figured out a way on how to politicize Juggalos at that point in time. And I was like, so this dude's down with, this dude's got values that are down with the clown. And I was like, I'm not even going to fucking research that because I'm young and fucking naive and stupid. And so I'm not even going to bother trying to fucking waste my time researching this shit. How dumb am I for that? And so I voted for him. And I did not think that he did a very good job. So in 2012, I was planning on voting for somebody else. My best friend convinced me to vote for Obama for a second term, and his reasoning behind it was because when a president comes in, they have a plan that is going to last 8 years. They only have the one term that lasts for 4 years, and then if they get, their plan is that if they got reelected, then they'd be able to complete the other half of the plan. So I was like, all right, that's fine. By the end in 2016, we were $17 trillion in fucking debt. Gas prices had gone up during the Obama administration as well as the fucking Bush administration. The deficit kept on growing. There was actually a fucking semi-truck that is alongside M6 that I used to drive past every day. And it actually had like $16 trillion in debt spray painted on the side of this fucking semi-truck. And then one day it's X'd out. $17 trillion in debt. And then 17 is X'd out. $18 trillion in debt. So I was like, okay, we need some new fucking blood. We need somebody new to come in. And then enter Donald Trump. He created a fucking stir. Someone kicked the fucking hornet's nest between him and Hillary Clinton. I wanted to vote for Donald Trump. I felt like he was a bigger name. I felt like he had better policies. And Hillary Clinton kind of fucked it up with that whole Pokemon goes to the polls thing to try to get, to be hip with the kids because Pokemon Go was brand new at the time. And I was like, no. You done fucked up on that one. But there was a lot of pressure between whether or not I wanted to vote for Donald Trump and who other people I knew were voting for at the time, because a lot of the bullshit that they were saying about Trump during that period of time, people were eating it up. And it was a scare tactic to try to fucking scare people into voting for Hillary Clinton. Like, that was the plan. And so I decided instead of voting for who I actually wanted to vote for, I figured that I would try to find a third option, in which I found fucking Gary Johnson. What got me with voting for Gary Johnson was the fact that he had this debate with somebody over federally legalizing marijuana. And she ended up saying it is proven that smoking marijuana will give you a heart attack. As she continued to try to say whatever she was trying to say, he keeled over comically, fell to the ground while clutching his fucking chest, and had his legs up in the air, and then they just dropped. The whole crowd erupted, and I was like, that's my guy. Because obviously he has a good sense of humor, and secondly, he's wearing jeans instead of a full-blown suit, so he kind of seems like a laid-back dude. And thirdly, he wants to federally legalize pot. Now, you guys know I don't smoke weed, but I do believe that there are some benefits to those who smoke it, and because they need it. I feel like it is good for you. It's a good medicine for people who can actually handle it. I don't fucking smoke it because it gives me anxiety, no matter what strain it is, and you can't tell me otherwise. Not to mention, I haven't smoked in so long that the weed that's out now, I'll fucking lose my shit. Guaranteed. Hillary said she carried hot sauce in her purse to persuade the black vote. That's another thing that I'm going to fucking bring up. I think this country needs a third option or a fourth or a fifth. Now, I did hear a rumor that France has like 5 different parties, but because of the way that they are, like everybody just votes for different people in the same party, and it's like all these other parties don't even fucking matter. Like, I think that's because it's Parliament. Now, despite me voting for Gary Johnson, I already knew that he was not going to win. My ex, while we were together at the time, she ended up bitching me out because she considered me throwing away the vote. I was like, no, because I know that if you get enough people in the country to vote for a third party, then that third party can be a part of the mainstream of it, of the political race the next time around. And I want to see that happen. I want to see more people vying for the political race. I don't want to see just Democrats and Republicans. I want to see more. I want to see other fucking parties involved and becoming more mainstream. Even if it's this, even if it's fucking Bernie Sanders. This fuck. Because he's technically independent, but he works alongside the Democratic Party. Now, from 2016 to 2020, I felt like Trump did a fucking good job. He did something that a lot of other presidents had never done before in my time of noticing. He said he was going to do something, and then he did it. He said he was going to build a wall. He started building a fucking wall. He said that he was going to bring down gas prices. Gas prices came down. They were around like $1.85. A lot better than almost $5 a gallon while fucking Obama was in office. I'm chiefing this thing because I want to empty out the chamber. I got a new flavor I want to try. But anyways, so I voted for Trump in 2020. Well, something happened that caused it so we had some rickety old fuck with a mental disability as our commander-in-chief until the beginning of this year. When Trump came back, the second president in history to have 2 separated presidential terms. The other one being Grover Cleveland. I believe he was the 20th and the 22nd president. And I don't remember exactly why I was bringing this up, Oh yeah, that's right. Because like no one had ever seen anything done before. Like I had seen mudslinging with previous presidents and stuff like that. That's technically illegal, but people do it anyways. And I've never seen any mudslinging at the level that Donald Trump had. Since 2015, when he first fucking ran. Everybody was like grabbing sound bites, scaring the shit out of people, gaslighting the fuck out of the American populace in order to try to create some stirred up narrative that he was bigoted in all sorts of fashions. Even if proof came out that he was in fact not bigoted, people would still think this. A sickness fucking grew starting in, I think, 2015. A mental sickness fucking grew. And it basically, as I said earlier in the show, led up to the two attempted assassinations on Donald Trump and failed. We finally saw how America is actually being gaslit in September of last year with the debate. When everybody was talking about how fucking Joe Biden has so much energy for being a man of his age, he can literally do cartwheels around the White House and all this other shit. And then we see the debate and he's a bumbling buffoon. You know, finally beat Medicare, beat it to death. If you remember, we actually covered this on this show. And I'm one of the few juggalos that actually gives a shit about fucking politics. If anything, I care more about the fact that we have the right to say whatever the fuck we want. Even if we disagree. But a whole bunch of fucking rhetoric fucking comes around, whether it's Antifa and BLM and all of these other fucking groups that claim to not be hate groups, but they are in fact fucking hate groups because let's face it, if you're Antifa, why are you fighting fascism with fascism? If anything, I can say that shooting a man who allows people to openly speak their fucking thoughts and views on political things or whatever the fuck, that's not fascism. But shooting the man that actually fucking allows people to speak their minds is, in fact, fascism. There are words that have been used so often that fucking people have diluted the original meaning of some of these terms. What I just described is fascism. And yet anybody who disagrees with a Democrat or a left-leaning fucking libtard is a fascist to them. Because words are violence, right? No. Words are words. I don't give a fuck if it hurts your fucking feelings. People say things to me that hurt my feelings, and I'm a very sympathetic guy. I am an emotional man. And I'm not afraid to admit that. And sometimes people say things that hurt my feelings. Does that give me the right to shoot them? No. Doesn't matter who they are. You're welcome, Wes. So when you have stuff like this happening where you've got Bernie Sanders fucking apologizing for what had happened in a way. Actually, he's not apologizing. He's not even taking accountability for his actions, which a lot of these fucking Democratic people have yet to do. Cenk Uygur didn't.
It means that you cannot convince people of the correctness of your ideas, and you have to impose them through force.
No, but manipulation is fine, right? Or fucking, screaming up a storm when somebody gets shot and killed and the Congress ends up asking for a moment of silence. And everybody in the Democratic Party in Congress ends up fucking screaming, celebrating, just to piss off Speaker Mike Johnson. And that, of course, includes the fucking ghetto queen of Congress, because she's got to be the loudest fucking voice. Al Green being the same way, which, by the way, both of them are fucking gone. From what I heard, they're both fucking gone.
Every American, no matter what one's political point of view may be, must condemn all forms of political violence and all forms of intimidation.
Yeah, well, I hope that what you're saying, Bernie, is actually the turning point. Of what goes on in the Democratic Party, because let's face it, they're the ones that have actually been manipulating motherfuckers like Tyler Robinson to actually go off and create this fucking action. If anything, it's a lot of the rhetoric that you guys have been spewing about the Republican Party and its voters that has caused something like this to happen. It makes it so people like myself sometimes are scared to voice their opinions. You have any idea how much it sucks to fucking want to say something about an event or a fucking happenstance or come up with an idea and not be able to fucking speak it, because if you're walking on eggshells when you open up your fucking mouth, and the constant fear of being labeled something that you know in your heart of hearts that you're not, like a racist or a fucking bigot, or being called homophobic, transphobic, xenophobic, fascist, a Nazi, all of these fucking things, which I have by other people in the Juggalo community because of certain things that I have said. And then you have to fucking have a tiptoe tap dance around the explanation of why somebody would actually think that. And it's like, what the fuck? No, that's not what I meant at all. So what do you have to do? You obviously can't fucking explain it to them. You can try, but it's falling on deaf ears. And so the only thing that you can really do is just prove it to them. But whether you show them verbally, you tell them verbally or show it to them physically, you run the risk nowadays of fucking getting capped. It's called stochastic terrorism. Stoking the flames, provoking people through exaggerated hyperbole and demonization of perceived opposition. Happens on multiple sides. It's so stupid and horrible. And right now, bro, it feels like it's only coming from one side. If anything, maybe it's coming from both sides, but from my perspective of things, I'm seeing it starting on the Democratic side, and the Republicans end up being the ones doing the retaliation. Does it make it right? Probably not. But that's just how I've been seeing it. Like, it's reactionary. I'll give you a prime example. So when the George Floyd things fucking happened, how did they protest? By setting cars and buildings and cities ablaze. Looting, robbing, plundering, killing, raping. Because I'm pretty sure that the car fire made them go crazy. Stabbing people in the chest, trying them in their underwear, shit like that. And then when Charlie Kirk gets shot, how did we protest? By lighting a candle. Creating a vigil. Beating the shit out of somebody that said fuck Charlie Kirk and ran over the vigil. But here's the important thing. And I'll full screen it for this one. But did you die? No, you didn't. You didn't die. You got hospitalized, but you didn't die. Fuck around and find out. That's the reactionary. You know, you shoot one of our leading fucking vocal people. You would think that we would riot in the streets, but we didn't. Why? Because the Republican Party right now is a little bit better at fucking holding things together than the Democratic Party. We have been seeing it since they were like, oh, hey, Kamala Harris is going to be running for president now instead of Joe Biden. Wait, what? Did you guys have a Democratic vote on who it was going to be? What's that? Oh, no, you just inserted her in. Like, you shoehorned her into the fucking political race. And then more dumb shit fucking happens. And then more dumb shit fucking happens. And the gaslighting and the fucking rewriting history and all of this other shit. The funny thing is that the cancel culture job are crying over losing their jobs because their bosses found out they celebrated senseless murder. That is another thing too. That's their reaction to when fucking somebody ends up getting murdered on our side. Okay, I fucked up typing that up. I'm tired. No, it's fine, Anonymous. You're fine. Yeah, so like I was saying, there is a huge variety of people, and I know that it's all fucking Democrats that are cheering this on. I don't think that there's anybody that's Republican that's actually fucking cheering on the death of Charlie Kirk. And so there have been people that I have seen on TikTok that have not like they haven't like doxed information per se to get people to fucking call them up and terrorize them or anything like that. Instead, what this one guy that I'm seeing is doing is he's finding information on individuals one at a time, finding out where they work, and then sending them a clip of the, either sending them a link to the TikTok video or a screenshot of the tweet that they're posting in celebration of Charlie Kirk's death, sending it to their HR and saying, do with it what you will. And yes, I know it's public information, and for the most part, I would say in a way it's kind of morally incorrect to fucking do that shit. I mean, I'm saying that from a position of being doxxed myself in the past, but also at the same time, it's like they're not telling people, go out and fucking harangue this person and their employment and get them fired and blah, blah, blah. It's basically like this guy's doing it by himself. I think his name is Quinn Pratt. He's finding the information himself. He's telling this place of employment themselves. And basically fucking being like, take this information and do with it what you will. And people are getting fired over this because who wants to fucking work with somebody who celebrates murder? And speaking of that, I want to point this out to you as well. Under no circumstances whatsoever am I actually going to try to say the phrase unalive. That is baby talk, and it deflates the actual shit that fucking happened. That makes it so people think it's okay to hamburger time the fuck out of people, and this is why they have no remorse. The man was murdered, killed, assassinated, not this unalived bullshit. I just want to put that out there. And I don't care if it causes me to lose monetization or anything of that nature. And I think it's high time that we get rid of that PC bullshit and stop saying stupid shit like unalived for the fear that the algorithm's not going to catch your live streams anymore or your TikToks or trying to be nicey nice about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Generally, I would say if you don't want people to see what you do on the internet, don't do it on the internet. It's public common sense. And I agree to that wholeheartedly because let's face it, bruh. Broham. Broseph. Brocephus. The internet is forever. And as a millennial, I've come to understand that wholeheartedly. If I'm going to say something on the internet, I am going to say it on the internet because somebody's going to fucking screen cap that shit anyways. Even if I make a mistake and make a video and I fucking erase the video, somebody has already taken that video and put it on at least 3 different social media platforms. So it'll be on there for the rest of my life and possibly even beyond. And of course, there's also going to be the snippets of people that are taking the things that I say out of context and make it sound like that I'm somebody I'm not. But let's face it, a good chunk of people in my chat, a good chunk of people that are watching this in post, know me in real life. They know who I am and what I'm about. And I feel like I'm secure enough to know that that's not going to be something that's going to dissuade them. Some people maybe, but you know what? Fuck them. I don't need them if that's what the case may be. And that's basically what this entire episode is about. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to put up my platform. These are the things I'm going to say. And if you don't like it, fuck you. I've already gone through and I'm starting to fucking remove motherfuckers because either they are A, glorifying the death of this man, or B, trying to justify it in some way, shape, or form. You want to argue with me, that's fine, but, that's not, if you want to come at me with a public discussion about shit, that might be fine. I don't have a problem with having a discussion with people, but to be totally honest, I remember one time I was doing an episode where I was talking about politics. I ended up getting raided on here, and there were some people that were saying some shit about how, oh, it's a juggalo talking about politics. Fuck that, I don't want to hear that shit. Yeah, because God forbid you actually take the time to fucking educate yourself. Or to listen to somebody else's views and vocal points. God forbid you actually expand your mind. And by the way, that's a big problem in this juggalo community of ours. A lot of us are liberal. Yes, I don't have a problem with that. But a lot of people are so fucking close-minded about the things that they believe and don't want to hear an opposing point. Instead, they want to label it as dangerous. Oh yeah, critical thinking is dangerous. Having an opposing opinion to what might be considered today's juggalo standards is dangerous. All right, we got some other stuff that we got to fucking bring up. Actually, no, it's not this one. It's this one. I also made a special one for TikToks. What up, Twisted Tree Line? Generally, I would say if you don't, yeah, okay, like Ron Weiss said, I was not drunk in public. I was drunk in a bar. They threw me out into public. I don't want to be drunk in public. I want to be drunk in a bar, which is perfectly legal. Arrest them. Anyways, yeah, so here's another person talking about the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Now, it's still up to us. I saw a lot of rumors online today. I was made aware of this by my team that I canceled some sort of college tour. That's bullshit.
I don't think I've ever heard Ben Shapiro actually use foul language in the history of ever. Oh, by the way, he's a Republican. He's also Jewish. Does that make him a Nazi? Or a self-hating Jew? I'm just curious about where's the lines of Nazism and Republican Party coming from? All right. You see the yarmulke. All right. You see the very Jewy Ben Shapiro over here. So, Is he a Nazi? Tell me, please, somebody try to convince me that the Jewish guy is a fucking Nazi. All right? Because if you actually fucking say that shit, you are retarded beyond belief, and it's fairly obvious that you were not paying attention to that part in history. Okay?
I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. So will we all. I am
Yes.
sure.
Yes. As a matter of fact, a lot of my favorite fucking like right-leaning political TikTok commentators are working on doing prove me wrongs in their own local colleges, which would be dope.
Because we're Americans, and we're not going to be deterred.
America.
Charlie's voice is not silent. We're going to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left it.
That is a fucking powerful message right there. Like, I love the fact that he kept it kind of dark, but it's so fucking powerful, the fact that he said it like that.
And to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion,
right,
who believe that they have ownership over public spaces and can violently threaten and kill people who speak freely, we are not going to stop. And I have two words. Fuck you.
Yeah!
We will not stop telling the truth. We will never stop telling the truth. We will never stop debating and discussing. We will never stop standing up for what America is and for what she should be. And we will never let Charlie Kirk's voice die.
God damn it. Hashtag I am Charlie Kirk. As a matter of fact, because of a lot of the arguments that I was having on Facebook with even some of my friends, I ended up fucking talking to a friend of mine who has not been on social media in a fucking minute. If you don't remember, his name is Godzilla. And I ended up telling him that with a lot of the stupidity, because let's face it, a lot of fucking juggalos are absolutely fucking stupid. And as I said before, close-minded. I feel like that there is no juggalo out there that actually utilizes his voice in trying to debate with politics and stuff like that. It seems so passé of the juggalo community to not talk about politics because all we want to talk about is fucking nangs and buttholes. We want to keep ourselves fat and stupid because apparently that's what makes us the happiest while massively depressed at the exact same time. You ever notice that? You ever notice that the fucking mass majority of juggalos are fucking depressed? And I was actually thinking about this, and I told the dude, I was like, you know, to be totally honest, I feel like that there needs to be a voice, and I'm not asking for it, but at the same time, who else is going to fucking do it? I've been in this juggalo community for quite some time. I have a voice. I have an opinion. I'm not afraid to really speak out about my thoughts and values and stuff like that. And honestly, like, there are quite a few people who, yes, I have talked with other people. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I talked about Mr. McInhose, and I ended up having a conversation about politics and stuff like that because his goal was to rip into me for being a Trump supporter the entire fucking gathering. He quit within the first fucking day. Like, it wasn't nonstop. It ended up being like maybe once or twice a day if he saw me. And it was just basically to try to shoehorn it into a context, just to try to be funny and shit like that. And I think his intention was to in fact do that shit the entire fucking day. And it just didn't happen because I really didn't give him the sauce. We had our political debates and stuff like that, and I was like, look, we're friends, and you know, we might have opposing opinions over Donald Trump, But, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're still friends. And that to me is what's more important. You don't have to watch my show. You don't have to listen to what I have to say. I'm going to say what I want to say, but I want to try to fucking be a little bit open-minded here. And I expect other people, if we're going to have a political discourse, we need to be open-minded about what the other person has to say. To me, that's important, and that's what these debates are supposed to be about. Not, I disagree with you, so here, take a bullet in the fucking neck. And I cannot stress that enough.
Goodbye to my friend, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing for your family and for your country and for all of us.
Now, that's another thing, too, man. People have also been going after Erica Kirk, saying that she's next, and so are her 2 kids, because both of them and his wife share fucking, you know, the belief structure and the thought process and the political views that Charlie Kirk also had. So apparently they got to go too. Well, unfortunately, you lost your job, fam. It really sucks that it has to come down to this. Because this is like the best line of defense that we as Republicans are going to fucking have at this point. Now, I wanted to point something out to you too, which I thought was very interesting. I found a TikTok that I was going to show you this video about Cenk Uygur fucking having Dave Rubin throwing stuff in it. You know what? Let's watch that first, and then I'll show you the other thing. So this is called Watch Cenk Listen to in Horror when Dave Rubin plays audio proof of past Charlie Kirk comments. It's kind of funny.
As somebody who used to identify quite happily as a liberal, I found myself completely disassociated from the woke left in a way I just never thought possible, where people on
that's true.
my side would start to become science deniers, biology deniers, but also develop this incredibly hateful mindset that if you didn't go along with everything that they believed, you would be cancelled, you'd be destroyed, you'd be shamed, you'd be vilified, and now, as we've seen with Charlie Kirk, you will actually be murdered in cold blood simply for having opinions that they don't like. It is, as I said at the start of this, it's unnerving. It's quite scary, actually. And when you see those TikTok videos,
I said
so proudly talking about this.
I said the exact same thing. Like, I originally got fucking scared because I am considerably a public figure in the Juggalo community, and I am open, you know, I am open about the fact that I am a Republican. And that scares the hell out of me because it's like, okay, I've talked about this shit in the past. What's to stop anybody from wanting to fucking go after me? I've already gotten yelled at by even some of my closest friends for publicly being open on my show about my political views. Which personally, I know that there are some people who say there's 2 things that you don't really want to talk about in public, and that's religion and politics. Well, sorry, but I'm going to talk about Donald Trump in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, even though I don't believe in him. I'm just going to say that just to piss people off because I think it's fucking funny. But yeah, so like anyways, yeah, so Piers Morgan ends up saying, yeah, he used to be so fucking far left and shit. Like, a lot of people used to be so fucking far left. Yeah, because religion is like one of those most hardcore belief structures that takes a lot to actually, you know, people will fight to the death over what they believe in. And the 2 most important fucking things that people tend to believe in mentally is religion and politics. That's why they try to tell you you're not supposed to talk publicly about religion and politics. Because, you know, that I guess that creates hatred or something like that. But it's like, you know what? Fuck that. At this point in time, I'll just point out the fact that I am a Republican voter. I am registered a Republican. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to try to shoot the president because I'm because I'm a registered Republican. But you know, because that's the new thing now. You know, like the fucking people on the left are trying to say that Charlie Kirk's shooter was Republican because his family was Republican, so it's a Republican problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't either. I'm just saying.
Joyously celebrate.
But anyways, yeah, so like things like which has just fucking happened with Charlie Kirk and people celebrating that shit is one of many reasons why Piers Morgan has started to slowly lean away from being woke left. And for a lot of people, by the way, this, for the most part, has been a turning point for them. I have seen a lot of Democrats that are like, this is not what I want this is not what I want for a party to represent myself. I don't want to represent that party if that's what they believe is that silencing somebody is for the betterment of this country. And so there's actually been people who have been registered Democrat voters that have said that they're never voting Republican, that they'll never vote Democrat again. I don't blame them.
Celebrating a murder like that. I really do fear about what is going on.
Yep, same here.
Well, Piers, it's not even that it's about his actual opinions. It's about the opinions that many thought leaders on the left purport that he has, which are complete lies. So look, I am in somewhat of a reconciliatory mode here. So I'd like to ask Cenk, I have 10 headlines here he has put up about Charlie Kirk. They are on his channel right now, and let's see if Cenk believes that these are true. Charlie Kirk says...
Look at him smirk like he thinks that he's got like he'll be able to defend this shit. So yeah, Cenk Uygur at the top left.
Prominent black women took white people's spots. Charlie Kirk boasts about his all-white basketball team. Charlie Kirk gives piggish advice to high school girls. Ex-employee exposes Charlie Kirk's grift. Charlie Kirk embarrasses himself. Charlie Kirk's brain melts explaining anti-vax conspiracy. Charlie Kirk rants about women in their 30s. Charlie Kirk has literally no clue how the real world works. Charlie Kirk gets triggered, declines appearance over pronouns. Charlie Kirk doubles down on women-hating backlash.
How in the fuck did everybody hear Dave Rubin say all of that with a straight fucking face? So here's the yes or no question that Dave Rubin is about to ask. Remember, it's kind of a yes or no question. And listen to Cenk's answer.
I am telling you, Piers, Charlie Kirk was one of the best human beings I ever met. He did not have a bone of racism, misogyny, or anything else in his body. But liars lie, and they gin up otherwise good people. From the little bit we know about this shooter, he had a stable household, he was going to college, he was fine. We'll find out where he got radicalized. But please, please, let's not pretend we don't know where this stuff is coming from. And please, let's not pretend that this thing is going both ways, because it is absolutely not. I also have well, you know what, Cenk, I'll ask you a question directly, actually. Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred?
Yes or no?
Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be killed? Yes or no?
Of course not. What kind of asinine question is that?
You don't? You don't? Because that's pretty interesting. Because here's a video of you, Cenk, talking when Charlie was at a breakfast.
It allows for easy martyrdom for these guys, and they don't deserve it.
The look on his face when... and I don't know if that's sweat on his forehead or if that's egg. Cenk tends to sweat a lot. Do you ever notice that? That motherfucker sweats.
But I do also want to point out, as they're in the middle of crying now, although Charlie was smiling ear to ear throughout the entire video, thinking, yes, I'm now the victim, and I'll get to claim that my rights have been
infringed. Did you catch the beginning of that, Cenk? Listen, we'll do it again.
No, I didn't, and that's totally out of... No, we're not going to do it again. Totally out of context. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
No. Listen, brother.
Are you trying to get harm
for
on me?
Second.
Is that what you're trying to do,
clown.
you loser?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, see, like, and he calls Rubin a loser. you automatically fucked your argument up, pal. Like, once you start name calling, that's how you know you've lost the debate.
No.
Oh, by the way, you notice down here, this dude's drinking water. You know who else drank water? Hitler.
No, I'm trying to
do
expose
conciliation,
exactly
except
what
this
people
guy.
like you
Look at the
have
last
done.
two things that your last two guests said.
Piers.
Jesus,
no,
man.
what they
You
said
guys are
was, yes,
unbearable.
we should have reconciliation, but it is not without any contrition, right? It's not without a mea culpa. Charlie was accosted by Antifa at a breakfast in Philadelphia, and the video that I just played is you with a cartoon of him as Charlie Brown saying that he would love to be martyred so he could be the victim. Well, I get...
Get fucked. Get fucking absolutely fucked, Cenk Uygur. Fuck you.
I guarantee you, his wife, who now doesn't have a husband, and his kids who don't have fathers, did not want him to be martyred.
What you just played isn't what
It's exactly what you said, brother. It's exactly what
it was.
Let's do it again.
No, it isn't.
Let's
we
do
just
it again.
heard it. We just heard it.
It's not?
All right, so
It's not?
okay, no,
Let's do it again.
Cut this crap out.
Come on,
no,
we'll do it again.
Piers, can we talk about reality? This is something he's going back to like 10 years.
Well, I think Cenk should be allowed to respond.
I mean, yeah, he is responding, but only when Dave Rubin is talking. And not to mention the fucking big bowl of word salad that he's trying to put on that he's trying to fucking play the panel. Yeah, don't let him play my words again. Yeah, because he doesn't like hearing himself now. He's like, remember what I said earlier when I showed the video from the Young Turks of him being like, it's a sad day or something, whatever the fuck he said, you know, basically being like, it's a sad day in the world of fucking political commentary because Charlie Kirk was fatally shot. You know, and it's like, my condolences go out to his family, but yes, Charlie's finally the victim. Get fucked, Cenk Uygur.
What I said there.
And they don't deserve it.
It allows for easy martyrdom for these guys, and they don't deserve it. That was when Antifa was going after him at a breakfast in
Okay, so
Philadelphia.
let's let Cenk respond to that.
No, that was about words, you moron. Okay, Jesus Christ, man. All right, so
easy
now let's
martyrdom.
get to reality, okay? Shut up.
There's a massive loss here on a human level of a very bright, successful young man who, like you said, he didn't smoke, he didn't take drugs, he didn't, you know, he wasn't a party guy. He was committed to his beliefs, and he was committed to, you know, spreading the word of his beliefs, but also allowing people to debate with him about those beliefs. That's what a democratic society should be about. And yet here he is now, dead at 31, because somebody was incapable of listening to his beliefs without wanting to kill him.
This is a very unusual looking panel because it's like so many different representations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Piers, look, this is a guy, you know, I don't talk about it that often. I happen to be gay. It's not a big deal. I've been married for over 10 years. And I've sat with Charlie and my husband and his wife and talked about marriage and talk about the differences there and all of those things. And we talked it out. That's what Charlie was great at. I do have to say, though, on the political side of this, for where this conversation has got heated, it seems to me that everyone agrees that Donald Trump is not Hitler and his supporters are not Nazis.
So Cenk Uygur, what do you have to say in debate to that?
With that in mind, I'd like to read some other headlines. These are video titles from Cenk's channel. And in the spirit of reconciliation, maybe he wants to delete these things. Trump cuts anti-Nazi program. Trump spreading Nazi propaganda. Nazis encouraged by Trump's Charlottesville response. Trump defends Nazis, very fine people. That is the biggest political hoax ever. Trump retweets a neo-Nazi again. Trump disappoints neo-Nazi supporters. So these things don't come out of nowhere. I only blame one person at the end of the day for these murders, which is the crazy person who does the murders. But pretending that what is wildly asymmetrical, I think I have laid that out with evidence here, pretending that it's symmetrical is deeply, deeply dangerous. Piers, you know this.
A little bit more dangerous than me fucking spreading my thoughts to the Juggalo community about politics, I think.
Because we've discussed it on my show. Even on your show, you have found it way more difficult to find rational, decent people on the left who will explain themselves thoughtfully and calmly and everything else, while the panoply of people you get on the right who shouldn't even be on the right, I would say certainly someone like me, I don't know exactly where Batya considers herself, but people with a variance of political opinions that now broadly are part of the MAGA thing, is because of what I just read you, the endless hysteria of the left that has ginned up people to do crazy things. It's not to say you can't say the worst things. You want to say the worst things? Donald Trump's a Nazi. It's so tough to say. You want to say that? Go ahead and say it. It falls on the person who pulls the trigger. But if we're all sitting here saying, yeah, it's not true that Donald Trump's a Nazi, and it's not true that his supporters are Nazis, and he's not Hitler and all of those things, well, then before you get to reconciliation, a little bit of a mea culpa by some of us might be valuable.
A lot of big words, but basically I think what he's trying to get at here is trying to tell Cenk that when you put this stuff up out there, people are going to get it in their heads. And I've said this too. In a simplistic term, it's basically this. When you hear the same thing over and over and over and over again about the same person through different fucking forms of people, and it happens for 10 fucking years, it's kind of obvious that people are going to start believing it, even if there's really no truth behind it. I mean, there's like one person tried to tell me that it was okay that Charlie Kirk was fucking assassinated because he was a piece of shit. Trust me. Like, literally, his citation is, trust me, bro. No, that's not how I fucking work. When somebody tells me something and I can point out that it's an opinion rather than an unmitigated fact, I am going to look it up. I am going to fact check. Okay? And I will come to my own fucking conclusion. I'm not going to fall under the guise of, he's this way because I said it, you can trust me, bro, because we're friends. All right. To me, I feel like when I hear somebody being called a fascist for no fucking reason, or a Nazi or Hitler for no fucking reason, I am going to look up the statistics, and I'm going to try to see if whether or not that's fucking true. It's the safest fucking play that you can come up with as far as I'm concerned. It's like, okay, in the Juggalo community, Shane Coates ended up being friends with a lot of fucking people in the Juggalo community. His name was spread throughout the fucking Juggalo community. It wasn't until he was arrested for fucking his kid that we all found out then that he was a fucking pedophile. Because the evidence there was obviously shown. He was arrested. It was talked about on the fucking news. They did the reporting. That's something that I can actually trust. And you go on the fucking Otis files or whatever. In Michigan it's called the Otis files, but you can look up the police records and the reports and you can see what he was incarcerated for. And at that point, that's when you're just like, all right, fine, fuck this dude. Fuck him forever. Even if he does get out with a bleeding, gaping fucking butthole, because we all know that that's going to be fucking thing. His asshole is going to be blew the fuck out if he does get out. Even then, it's like, fuck you o'clock. You always thought they were sus? I mean, like, to be totally honest, like, the weirdest thing that I saw was Shane and Flip Flop going to town on Ty's feet at Hallowicked in 2018. And some people said it was gross, and I was just like, whatever, it's Juggalo shit. And I just stepped over them and walked past them and went into the back area to go have a smoke. I just took it in stride, because it's just like, okay, yeah, they're a little bit weird, but, then again, so is Flip Flop. And then Flip Flop, I guess, turned out to be a fucking weirdo, but not on the same extreme level as fucking Shane Coates and Ty. And then, the same thing can be said about Toad. When we found out that Toad fucking apparently raped a chick, or like ended up fucking spreading a whole bunch of lies about a chick or some shit. It basically, one of those two things happened. One of those two stories is true, and the end result ended up being the chick fucking killing herself. And when word got out about that shit, it was gears off for fucking Toad. So Toad stopped fucking putting on the makeup, stopped putting on the clown nose, stopped going to fucking shows. I guess this happened at a Juggalo weekend. I don't know the full statistics. But what I do know is that if dude disappeared, it's because he's guilty of something. I would say that once again, is kind of evidence enough. When my brother went to jail, I was under the impression that he killed somebody in cold blood. I decided to eventually talk to him. One day I just happened to be in the same area that he was in when he was in prison, and I went to go visit him, and he laid down what had actually happened. He was part of it, but he wasn't the full cause of it, according to him. I would much rather have a full fucking citation rather than just banking it off of trust me, bro. And the same thing can be said about Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to believe that he's a piece of shit just because my friends fucking say it. If anything, I would say that the people who are pieces of shit are the ones that are either justifying his death or celebrating in it. Those are terrible people. That is a group of people that have absolutely no fucking soul. Not even NPCs. They're just evil. Which is why at the very beginning of the show, I played the beginning of Hollow Point. Two separate worlds, opposites, yet alike in so many, many, many ways. Both of these are engaged in an eternal war with each other, the war of good versus evil. Which is which, you decide. And I've made my decision.
Cenk?
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is disgusting. So
Oh yeah, so is people fucking celebrating the death of a man. A group, the same group of people that wants to wish death on his wife and children. The same people who are celebrating the death of this man and don't care about the fact that this person is widowed. And even the amazing atheist, T.J. Kirk, shows no sympathy for what had happened, and he warned his fucking fan base that people like me and other people in the media are going to try to use the widower, the widow and children as a counter argument for not showing empathy for what had happened to Charlie Kirk. And that's due to the fact that what he said about empathy was completely fucking taken out of context. What he said was that while he felt that empathy was a made-up, overused word by the radical left, he feels that the word sympathy is a better choice. That about sums that up. So basically, if you're not showing sympathy for his fucking wife and children over what happened to him, you are a piece of shit. And if you want to fucking talk about disgusting, it is the fact that for the last 10 years, and it's going to continue for the next 3 to 7 years, people constantly making shit up about Donald Trump, his constituents, his peers, his friends, and his voters. The entirety of the Republican Party, with all of these made-up facts. That's disgusting because it led to what happened on September 10th.
So this guy pretending to do conciliation, and I was going to be conciliatory towards Dave if I spoke first, but apparently that's not what he's doing at all. So what he's trying to do is get people angry in a misleading way against me.
Yeah, because you did the same thing to Donald Trump. Fucking accountability. How does that work?
Are you trying to
Are
get
those
people
your
to be
titles?
violent?
Are those the titles
this
of your
is
videos?
disgusting.
No.
So no.
that's-
Let me explain.
no.
Let me explain.
Those are your titles.
No, let
buddy.
me explain. You're asking me a goddamn question, so let me explain while you're trying to get people to do violence against me.
Because that's the most logical fucking solution in a debate. He who yells the loudest wins the battle. Cenk Uygur is a master at this. He has to get fucking loud in order to get his point across.
You're disgusting. So those are 80% of those titles. I've never called Trump a Nazi, and those titles were about neo-Nazi reactions. So what do you want us to do? Not tell you?
You're literally fucking trying to gaslight what you just heard. Fam. Do you not realize that what you're saying is complete and utter bullshit? Quit trying to save your ass and making it worse for yourself and your fucking show and your team. Like, is the only person that has any logical sense on his fucking show Anna Kasparian? Which is probably, by the way, why you don't see her on the fucking show as much anymore if you watch it.
What's actually happening? And so look,
did Donald Trump side with neo-Nazis?
Yes, he did say that.
Incident in Charlottesville?
So as we've explained on the Young Turks,
He's like Don Vito when he gets a no shit, right? Like, we literally, I wish Bam Margera was there to smack Cenk Uygur.
To me.
Can I just talk? So this monster is trying to egg on violence.
What did Donald Trump say after very
and he
fine
won't
people?
even let
I'm
me
not
talk.
talking about the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists who should be condemned completely. It's the biggest debunked conspiracy theory of all time. You're still pushing that now? You're still pushing the very fine people hoax now? I'm shocked even for you.
Yeah, 'cause, like, he literally just fucking said, yeah, he did say he supports neo-Nazis. It's been debunked. Bro, he said there's fine people on both sides, but Nazis, fuck them. I mean, I'm not saying it verbatim, but that's basically what Trump said.
No, Dave, shut up and let me answer your stupid question.
You're so angry.
So on that day, which now we're going back to that for no goddamn reason other than you're trying to get people angry at me for misleading things.
I'm reading your titles. You should be angry at your titler.
Shut up and let me answer. So did he say there are very fine people on both sides? He did. So that's a fact. Now, who was he referring to? As we've explained on the Young Turks, he might have been referring to the people who were in favor of the Confederacy and came out there to support Confederate generals. I didn't find that to be any better.
Once again, Ruben just said it has been debunked, you stupid motherfucker.
Those people were in favor of slavery. Those people lynched black people.
Those people were also Democrats.
So I'm not going to ever cheerlead for them, and I'm not ever going to shut
Jake,
up
in the very next sentence, did he say, I'm not talking about the white supremacists
so
or
you're
the
not going to get me
neo-Nazis
to
who should
shut
be
up,
condemned totally.
and you are against speech, and you're the one trying to smear people.
He's against speech, yet it's your people that are fucking shooting motherfuckers that are on the Republican side who are having open panels. What?
So let me be super clear, and let me outrage everyone on all sides, and then try to bring people together.
Ruben's kind of a dick about it, but at least he has a point. Which, by the way, I want to point out something too, because I forgot to grab videos of this too. So there, like I wanted to grab the fucking "We Got Him" video that Kash Patel was on. So they ended up explaining, and tell me if this sounds like fucking far left rhetoric. So, as Chronic pointed out before, dude had a fucking trans partner, male to female. They were in a relationship. They lived together in Washington County, Utah, right? He had also been in fucking Antifa-based Discord rooms You hear all of the stuff that's been going on for like the last 10 years, as I've explained before. On the shell casings, there were things that were inscribed on the shell casings. You can consider this the manifesto. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna fucking look it up on my phone, and I will yeah. Hold on a second. Okay. So, yeah. So, one of them ended up saying, "Hey, fascist, catch." And then it had an up arrow, right arrow, down, down, down arrow. I can't remember what video game that was. Helldivers or something like that. Helldivers 2, I believe, is the video game that it was referencing. The other one said, "Notices, bulges, oh, what's this?" I don't remember what that's referring to. I believe they said that that was referring to trans and furry inside jokes of some sort. Yeah, it says, "The writing appears to be a reference to a meme about the online furry subculture and online role play. The let's see, the another description. Come on. Show me the other ones. I mean, the last one, okay, yeah, the arrows were a Helldiver's input for dropping a nuke, basically. IIRC. Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The one that said, "If you are reading this, you are gay, LMAO." That actually made me chuckle. Like, that is on some edgelord shit, and being on the internet as long as I have, and have attributed edgelordy fucking shit, I couldn't help but fucking giggle at that one, because I've seen it multiple times in my fucking life, being an internet heartthrob. I think it's. I thought it was fun. I was just like, it's wrong of me to fucking laugh at this, but I just couldn't help it. Oh yeah, this is the other one. One of them said, "Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao." That was the other one, which, by the way, led me to make the decision to start scrubbing my friends list on Facebook, because the first person that I saw that quoted that was Guido. So I unfriended Guido because of that. I understand he's Italian, but the fact is that you are putting out that fucking celebratory rhetoric, and I am not happy with that, and that was the deciding factor that made me say I had enough. And then I put everybody else through a fucking litmus test. Oh, it goes beyond with fucking Guido. Guido has actually told me and Godzilla that he considers himself a communist. But in the sense that he believes that it's basically the idea of living in a commune. And it's like, you keep saying that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. That's not communism, you stupid asshole. Communism is Soviet Russia. In Soviet Russia, the road forks you. People are just cooked beyond, and both me and Godzilla are absolutely fucking not able to comprehend how Guido got this way. Now the thing about O Bella Ciao, it's referencing an Italian song that is anti-fascist in nature. It was actually a song that was used during the Second World War to fucking, to basically resist the Nazi regime, if I'm not mistaken. So once again, you take a look at this fucking rhetoric that is inscribed into the shell casings. Video game references to Helldivers 2. You have the "Hey fascist, catch this." Right? So basically he is calling fucking Charlie Kirk a fascist when what he and himself did was fascism. The Nazi thing with "Oh Bella Ciao," that was the reference. And that goes in turn with what fucking Ruben was talking about with Cenk Uygur, which has already been fucking debunked. You know what I'm saying? And the last one, okay, so let's go back to the first one, the first shell casing that was used, and that was the "Notices, bulges, oh, whoa, what's this?" So that ties in with the fact that he is a fucking, it ties in with the relationship that he's with the transgender person. What up, Teasy? We got Spamily up in here. So those two things kind of interlink together. Kind of like how they do. And, because that first one, "Notices, bulges, oh, well, what's this?" That's furry shit. But then the last one is, "If you are reading this, you are gay." That's obviously, well, kind of funny, but also at the same time, it's edgelordy as fuck, which really shows two things. One, this dude did not remember that he has to touch grass every now and again. This dude was possibly, you can tell that this dude was interlinked with a lot of internet subcultures. It's also been shown that he has been into a lot of Antifa shit, which ties into the first shell casing, or the second shell casing. He believes the "trust me bro" fucking citations. And something tells me that he knew that there was a good possibility that he was going to get caught. And so, upon getting caught, at least his final words are going to be a fucking joke. That if you read this, you are gay. What was up with the dude in the black playing charades before the shot? That kind of looked off. So, there's a couple of things that people have said to allude to the possibility that there was, there's been a lot of conspiratorial shit that people have said. And I don't believe that it was more than just the one guy. Honestly. I really don't. I think that this was an isolated incident. And from what I understand, my cat is showing butthole on the screen here. It's a new cat, by the way. Yeah, that's something I forgot to fucking make mention of. The family cat died, and then we ended up getting a new cat. His name is Zeus. Kind of interesting for a fucking, Christian family to have a fucking cat that is named after a Greek god. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the dude in black. I don't know what dude in black you're referencing. I believe the shooter is in custody and he made the shot. Yeah, that guy, his name's Tyler Robinson, I think. He is in custody, and originally, after he told his father what he had done, his father told him that, let's see, he signals right before the shot. Yeah, like, yeah, but there could have been a lot of other people that have done something like that. I think the timing of it was basically waiting until somebody was talking about trans gun, like trans shooters and stuff like that because of what had happened at that Christian school where the trans person ended up gunning down a bunch of students at that school. Children, by the way, not even a teenage fucking school. Not even a high school. It was a fucking Christian elementary school. And some weirdo fucking trans dude ended up fucking shooting up the school. So I'm pretty sure that he knew that eventually that was going to become a thing of topic. And I think that's when he timed it. Right at that time where the guy that was debating him was debating about the increase of shooters that were trans. And then that's when he's just like, oh, all right, let's get ready to go. And then, bow. You know, the timing of it was actually pretty fucking interesting. The way that Kirk got shot. I shouldn't even be chuckling at that because of how wrong it is. But still, like, the fact that I think that he was waiting on that particular topic to fucking come in to play. I don't think that I don't think that he was signaled, and I don't think it was really a shot in the dark. And I also think that he was aiming for the head, and it just downwinded, you know? I've also listened to other people that have talked about the trajectory of the shot. One person that I follow ended up saying that a 200-yard shot, even in iron sights, is not a hard shot to make if you know what you're doing. But this dude had a fucking 5x scope that would make him look about as big as I am on the screen. So, and he still fucking shot him right here in the fucking neck. There were apparently a few people posting before the day of the shooting that they were saying things that imply they were in on it. I don't fully know, but of course, we live in a day and age now where there are a lot of people who fucking will say shit just because they want to become part of the fucking the virality of the situation. People are fucking goofy. So, yeah. But according to what people have learned about this shit is that, yeah, he did come from a Republican family. I mean, Utah is a red state. But also, Charlie Kirk himself has actually made a point in stating that a lot of mainstream colleges, and even some minor colleges, have been fucking trying to indoctrinate its students into believing a lot of less leftist and Antifa-like rhetoric and policies and beliefs and stuff like that. And there's been a lot of people that have actually been wired to fucking believe this shit, regardless as to whether or not they lived in family, Republican family homes. So think about it, despite him growing up in a primarily Republican home, which, as I explained before, with my history of voting, I voted Democrat, I voted independent, but I grew up in a Republican family, right? Consider it a political act of rebellion to vote against whatever it is that your fucking parents are voting for. Blonde tranny made a post that knew about it. Probably his boyfriend. And I say probably. That's not an absolute. So, what my theory is that after he graduated high school, he went to college. He's 22. So, if he hasn't graduated college by now, he already has. Yeah, it's like if he hasn't graduated college, by now, then he either dropped out or he was well on his way to graduating. During that period of time, that's when he started getting indoctrinated into the leftist mindset, which in turn caused him to have a roommate that was male to female trans. He ended up having a relationship with that person, which I don't know if that's really a big issue with people who are, living in a primarily Mormon state. I don't know, but nevertheless, they also said that he over time started becoming a little bit more and more political during family get-togethers. They would talk about Charlie Kirk and what they didn't like about him, and that can be like a growing factor, especially with how Republican leaning Charlie Kirk was. And so like the more you listen to him talk about something that you disagree with, the more you're going to dislike him. And then you also have a combination of that, the fucking Antifa Discord that he was in, the furry and trans communities that he was engaging in, having a trans relation, which most of them are left-leaning as well. You're going to get this in your fucking head. And then when you have people like Cenk Uygur and Charlie and Harry Sisson and Dean Withers, Parker, fucking Jolly Good Ginger, all those guys from TikTok, and everybody else that's on the left that is basically fucking claiming that Trump is a Nazi and or Hitler, and everybody that follows him is a Nazi. The whole see a Nazi, punch a Nazi, that kind of stuff. You get it in your head that you're going to fucking be like, you could consider yourself to become a savior if you get rid of this Nazi. You could save America. You could save the trans community. You could save this. You could be the face of Antifa. You could do this, that, and the other if you do this one act. And I think once he pulled the trigger, he ran in fear because he realized that what he did fucking was fucked up. It's like you don't know the severity of your actions until actually once you've fucking done it. And he ran. And then out of shame and guilt, he confessed to his father and said, I would rather kill myself than turn myself in. And his father convinced him to turn himself in, and he turned himself in. So now we just wait to see what the penalty is. And they did say that the penalty, the death penalty is still active and legal in the state of Utah. And I believe they said firing squad. And I've seen some people that have said things that they suggest, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. Firing squad, euthanasia, hanging, those are all fucking petty things. You know what I think he ought to do? You know what I think his death penalty sentence ought to be? And I didn't really think too much about it, but I feel like that this is probably the most logical solution. You put him in a Saw game, and if he survives, he gets pardoned. Simple as that. Or if you don't even want to give him that, I feel excruciating torture is probably the best for him. I'm thinking an upside-down crucifixion. I feel like that could possibly be a good solid fucking form of capital punishment for such a religious state. He might not even make it out of that prison. I don't know. Oh yeah, his target is hit, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you look at him, he looks like a really sweet boy. But I also wanted to point out something else, because I got into a lot of arguments with people on fucking Facebook, which, by the way, if you argued with me, you failed the litmus test. Because a lot of people are just like saying, oh yeah, like, I think there was one guy that's on my friends list on Facebook that ended up saying, not that I'm condoning the violence that happened upon Charlie Kirk, but I'm also not shedding tears because he was a bigot, racist piece of shit, and that's totally not Juggalo. Okay. I got another video for you.
Anybody, especially black people, that are saying Charlie Kirk was racist and was not for black people and did not know black people, I am 100% convinced that you have never sat through a full debate of his or watched any of his debates with a sound understanding.
Most of the time, I think that I actually agree with this woman. My camera froze again. Yeah, I agree. He wasn't a bigot. He wasn't racist. And that's why I pulled this fucking video. To basically pull that fucking point. Because a vast majority of the people, by the way, who I have seen claim that he is a racist bigot are crackers. So I figured I would go ahead and go after the opposition.
Black people are always so quick to want to be the victim of a situation that they can't thrive. And this is one of the things that Charlie Kirk was exposing to black people. We have such a cap on us because we think we're limited because we're black or because we're women and because we think our ancestors, whatever they went through, is still impacting us today. But we are not there anymore. Charlie Kirk wasn't saying that we didn't need or black problems didn't matter. He was saying, hey, you're not a slave anymore and there are no more laws that are holding you back, saying that you can't do what a white person can do. You should get up and go and try these methods and become somebody.
And through meritocracy, let's also keep that in mind too, because I feel like that's important. Remember what I was talking about with the chick who kept on fucking letting that one dude go who stabbed Irina Zarenka? You know, like that dude that got, you know, put in jail like 14 times and he kept on fucking getting out? You know, he wasn't in for very long for multiple times that he was put in jail for crazy shit that he fucking did. Because that woman was a DEI project. And that was another thing too, like he basically, like the whole argument with that was basically off the fact that he ended up saying that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 should not have been put into place because in the long term that ended up creating the DEI thing, and he believes that people should be hired into jobs based on meritocracy, not because of the color of their skin or what's between their legs. That's what he said. That's not racist at all. I guess in a way it could be, you know, I could loosely understand why people would imply that to be racist, because getting rid of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 would also get rid of Jim Crow. But at this point in time, we're not hanging on to that history anymore. Black people have as many fucking capable rights to do whatever it is that they want, just as much as black people, Mexicans, Asians, Indians, indigenous people. Doesn't matter. We all have similar equal rights. God forbid that something isn't handed to you for free just because of the color of your skin, or because of what living situation that you're in, or what gender you are. That's really all that he was fucking saying. Had nothing to do with racism.
One thing we got to understand is life is hard, and we don't need handouts. Handouts is making people weak and sensitive. That's why this man was just killed over mere opinions.
Like, that was another thing that was made mention of, and I've seen debates that he had pointed out as well. Like, granted, I have seen many a clip, but I could understand where he was coming from in what he was talking about. In this case, let me rewind it.
Life is hard, And we don't need handouts. Handouts is making people weak and sensitive. That's why this man was just killed over mere opinions.
Okay, so what he was talking about at that given point in time was talking about how absence of the father in single mother homes has basically been replaced with government assistance, Section 8 housing, WIC, food stamps, cash assistance. As a matter of fact, I saw a video from a different black woman who was basically convincing her son not to go out and get a job because if earned income is introduced into the family home, then she gets less cash assistance. That basically says, A, you're limited to the amount of money that you're given if you are on food stamps and cash assistance. And I can tell you that firsthand because I've lived off of food stamps before. My ex-wife had $1,000 a month coming in for the GI Bill, and then we had $750 a month for food through SNAP EBT. We had it, and then in order for us to get extra cash, obviously you got to do the illegal shit, by selling your food stamps, and we would still not have enough money for fucking, like cigarettes. And it ended up making it so I had to lie to my mother to give me $20 here, $20 there, and tell her that we needed to put gas in the van. And it was believable because the van had a 24-gallon tank. And so we were just asking for $20 just to get us by. And what we would do is we would end up buying fucking cigarettes and snacks at fucking Speedway with the money. I was very deceitful to my mother the entire time that I was married and living off of food stamps because it limits the amount of money that you have coming in, and it's based off of how much income you have coming in. But if you have $1,000 that's government assistance coming from via the GI Bill, you have no income coming in. That's not like earned income, so you get the full amount. And so having to live with 5 kids, 2 parents, and $750 worth of food stamps was basically all that we got, and that wasn't including WIC. After my wife and I divorced, and I had to fend for myself, I asked for no assistance. Even to this day, I don't ask anybody for money anymore. I don't ask for a handout. Which is why when I was with my ex-girlfriend Katie, my last baby mama, instead of asking my mom for money, I traded her my video game collection as in return for a $1,200 loan. And eventually I would pay her back and with interest. I think as of last year, that was finally fucking paid off. I under no circumstances want to ask anybody for help, and it feels so much better being able to not only earn my own keep, but to actually pay my own bills and pay my own way without any assistance. Getting assistance puts a cap on you. Doesn't matter what race, color, sex, gender, or creed you are. But people tend to replace the fucking, replace that and replace the other parent and make that into a surrogate father. And then you're caught in a fucking loop. Because if you try to better yourself, that's less money coming in from the government. And the government is giving you money that other people are fucking giving the government.
Having an opinion. This man never said nothing racist or hated or hateful towards black people. I followed this man very closely and watched many of his debates, and I stand in agreement with a lot of the things that he say. And I really, if I disagree with anything, it was so small I can't even think about nothing I disagree with. And I just hate that we are people who are so quick to be controlled by the word racism that just one little clip misrepresenting what somebody said is all we need to throw somebody under the bus. We got to think about this. Who are the kind of people, and not to, this was a white on white crime. And whenever these type of people get involved, that means there is some power being seeped out somewhere to the masses that the people in control don't want the power to be with.
Now, like I said before, I think that this was an isolated incident. I don't think that there was any higher power involved in this. I think it was a fucking crazy lunatic who ended up misrepresenting a lot of shit, fucking lost his mind. It's kind of like when Ronald Reagan got shot, the guy that fucking shot Ronald Reagan claimed that he did it to impress Jodie Foster, even though Jodie Foster doesn't know who the fuck he is. And Jodie Foster wasn't even popular at the time. I think it's kind of like that. I think he fucking did it to impress Antifa, or to impress his boyfriend, or to impress the furry community, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I remember that. The balloon pops. Missed me. That was fucking intelligent as hell. Like that. Good reference to that one, Chronic.
And this is what he was doing. He was showing a lot of people that are blind and programmed by the system to wake up and get out the matrix.
Basically. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing with this one here for the Juggalo community. Open up your fucking eyes and your ears and see what the hell's really going on. If anything, I would have to say that for somebody who advocated for freedom of speech like Charlie Kirk did and getting shot over it, this should be an eye-opener for you guys. That something is fucked up. But for the most part, I ended up concluding that most juggalos are stupid, ignorant, and not willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? I legitimately feel like that's the case. It's sad that that's a truth.
And this was the problem. Telling black people you don't need government assistance because you can be somebody is not racist. Telling us that government assistance has hindered us because before we were on government assistance, we were a more successful people is not racist by reading and understanding the facts.
And that was something that Charlie Kirk has actually told some fucking black people. And then they got upset about it. Like, they consider that to be fucking racist. And what's funny to me is, like, there was a video that I saw earlier before Charlie Kirk died. One of the Turning Point videos ended up popping up in my feed. And it was him having a debate with a black woman, with her baby in her arms. And he was talking to her. She was listening. He was showing sympathy for the situation that she was in. He was calm, cool, and collected. He wasn't stern. He wasn't yelling. He even complimented the baby, called the baby beautiful. And I'm like, no racist is going to fucking say something like that, as far as I'm concerned. And according to the things that I said on ChatGPT when I was fucking trying to basically fucking depress from the situation, because, like, man, I've been overloaded with this shit since it happened. I've been watching videos nonstop about Charlie Kirk since September 10th. That's a lot of fucking videos. And so, like, I just needed to get some stuff off of my chest, and I ended up fucking saying, like, why is it that my friends are trying to say that he's a racist bigot? And they ended up saying, well, I guess it depends on what you define by racism. I was like, me personally, I find racism as hatred or feeling of superiority over another group of people just because of their race. And maybe that's a thin brush stroke, but that's how I've always seen it. My main question is if you believe this was a pure civilian attack or deep state or probability of either. Honestly, I feel like it's just straight pure civilian attack. I don't think it was deep state shit, because Charlie Kirk, he's not a political figure. You know, it was just a guy who knew a lot about politics and basically used his platform to try to help other people receive an open mind. He wasn't like trying to run for governor or senator or mayor or Congress or even the president of the United States. I'm pretty sure with his intelligence level he could have. However, he was 31 years old. He wouldn't have been able to do it in the next term. Charlie believed black people were just as good as anyone else. They just needed to pull themselves out of the hole the government welfare had put them in. And that is very true. Like that's a truthful statement. That's really all that he was trying to fucking do. And he was trying to fucking help people understand through debate. It's just that people just saw it more as him arguing with other people. And that's probably what would elude people to believe that he was all of these things that, well, they claim every other white Republican is. Racist, bigoted, homophobic, so on and so forth. All the things. All the things that they have been saying for the last 10 fucking years, to a point where every single one of those words has been diluted. Like, literally. If everyone's a Nazi, then no one is a Nazi. If everyone is fascist, then no one is fascist. If everyone is homophobic, then no one is homophobic. And what's fucking funny to me is I love seeing these people who have opposing opinions with the very same people that they're trying to fucking defend, and then they'll tell a gay person that they're homophobic. Like fucking Brad Palumbo. I've heard a story where he ended up being told that he's homophobic because of his views. Dude sucks cock. All right. I don't think you can get any gayer than that. And yet he's a homophobe. Anyways, let's continue on with this woman.
Ever since we started getting subsidized by the government, we have been controlled by the government, and not in only what we can do, but how we think.
Yep.
And this is a person who challenged.
Yeah, because basically it's like, okay, the Republican Party wants to get rid of all of those fucking subsidies. Okay? Like, it's not, like, those subsidies are not something that you should rely on for the rest of your life. It should be just a fucking little push towards, you know, just enough. You know, that's why, like, when you are on disability and you're getting paid every month, you notice how every year you have to fucking fight for it? You have to fight for it to prove that you actually need this. And if you don't, then they just decrease how much they fucking give you if they don't stop giving it to you. How is Jordan Peterson a far-right Nazi and somehow also a Jewish shill? Makes no sense. Bro, like, that's the same fucking argument that I just said earlier today about fucking Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's a Jewish Republican. Does that make it, how does he, like, how do you spin that into him being a Nazi? I'm bummed out that the brand new generation of young people was severely traumatized seeing that horrific occurrence. Seeing someone die like that on camera, it's really sad. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. It's actually fucking disgusting to see some of the reactions of these people that show absolutely no sympathy whatsoever, if anything, celebrating it. It's fucking gross. It's grosser than a fucking super chat.
Challenges you to think for yourself.
God forbid.
The things he said about George Floyd, y'all act like because an officer killed George Floyd, that made him a saint. Like he wasn't a criminal. Like he wasn't on drugs. That's what caused him to be suffocated and pass out. Yeah, like he wasn't resisting. Like he was just being a good law-abiding citizen and was just taken out senselessly like we do each other. That wasn't the case. So when they're pointing out this stuff, y'all don't like nobody telling y'all the truth.
Yeah, God forbid anybody do any critical thinking, right, Chronic?
A good law-abiding citizen and was just taken out senselessly like we do each other. That wasn't the case. So when they're pointing out this stuff, y'all don't like nobody telling y'all the truth.
Right.
Black people don't want to hear the truth because we benefit off of not working and being lazy off of government assistance and stuff. One thing Charlie Kirk also said was if the black people want to become better, we're going to have to stop celebrating crime and murder. Our culture is destruction. Our culture is destruction.
I mean, like, I believe that he had said something about the statistics that, you know, like, black on black crime is, I believe he said that that happens a lot more often than white on white crime or any other fucking, you know, similar race to similar race crime. But, like, that's honestly, like, that's another can of worms too. There's a lot of like, I believe he ended up pointing out the fact that there was a, you know, there's a lot of black on black crime, and with blacks being a minority, like, literally, like, they're taking out themselves because of, like, gang warfare, shit like that, which, by the way, that that was something that I fucking saw when Trump announced that he was going to go to Chicago for the whole military thing, like what they did in Washington D.C., and they said that they were going to go to Chicago, and there was a black dude that was like, "Don't fucking come down here, gang. There's like 10,000 fucking different gangs that are around here, and we're all strapped and ready to go, and blah blah blah." And it's like, "Fuck you." Okay, yeah, you're gonna go up against the fucking United States military. That's a smart idea.
And it ain't nothing we can do or say to change that. Everything we have from the women in our idolization groups, Beyonce, Summer Walker, SZA, Cardi B, Sexy Red, all of them are horrible
Ice Spice.
examples of how to be as a woman. The same thing with the NBA young boy, Lil Baby, Da Baby, Lil Wayne, Baby, P. Diddy. All of those are examples of how to be a terrible person. And what he is saying is get these examples from in front of you and your kids so that y'all can thrive.
I mean, basically, yeah, because, like, the mindset that I don't want to say that this is just white people or black people, but I know that it's a poor people thing. They seem to think that the best way to fucking get out is to fucking, you know, get discovered as a hip hop artist or to, you know, play sports and stuff like that. And that's just coming from me. And it's like you can do something with your knowledge and your mind. It doesn't have to be just like getting discovered, you know? Because if you just sit around waiting for that type of shit, it's like, yeah, like, you have no idea the small chance of getting discovered with how big the country is and how many fucking companies are out there even looking for fucking people. And it's like nowadays you basically, like, and I've seen this in the Juggalo community myself, and I'm very proud to see a lot of Juggalos that actually go out and they fucking make something of themselves, and they do it by themselves. That's the best way to get out of a bad situation, is you have to fucking pick yourself up by the fucking bootstraps and do the damn.
Also, let's work on building the family back. One of the things that destroyed the family was removing a father out the home. Put that back together so we can start becoming a good community.
Yeah, see, like, Charlie Kirk actually enforced fucking nuclear family. You know, two-parent household is a much better situation. And I can tell you that from personal experience as well. Like, my parents ended up divorcing when I was like 2 or 3 years old. And my mom was single, living, raising me by herself. It was tough. And it really fucked with me. Because I had a lot of issues that I fucking had to deal with not having a father figure until I was 13. For 10 years. That was long enough to be able to get fucked, you know, to get fucked with mentally.
but we don't like being told nothing. We don't like being told how to better ourselves because we want to be victims so bad. We want to be at the bottom of somebody's pity party so bad
Goddamn.
that we'll take anything we can to disregard or dismiss any ethical or sound doctrine to help better ourselves, so that we can steady dwell on a past that no longer affects us, and that we can overcome and have the ability to become somebody. My last point is, I always tell my daughter, because I made her read about Madam C.J. Walker, a self-made black woman millionaire.
Not just Oprah? That's awesome.
During a time way worse than today.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah.
Everybody with all these excuses of why you can't be successful because you black or a woman, odds have always been being defeated since the beginning of time. Stop teaching your kids and capping your kids at you black or you a woman so there's stripes against you. Stop teaching that to your kids and let them know you're going to have to work hard for whatever you want. Be resourceful and go for what it is that your goal is. But we keep teaching each other that, oh, it's hard because we black. I've been a victim of that mentality too. And that keeps you in a slave mentality.
Ouch. That was a rough patch of road, but damn.
It keeps you from going to strive. If you are conditioning people and making people believe that I automatically am going to lose or fail, or it's going to be even harder for me just because I'm black, most people not going to even get up and put their best foot forward. So when you tell people, hey, wake up, you don't have to be like this and you can be better, that's making you get uncomfortable because now it's time for you to work and become somebody instead of dwelling in your comfort of nothingness.
Now, the one thing that I remember having a conversation with ChatGPT about was like, they ended up saying, going back to the Civil Rights Act, one of the things that it mentioned was redlining. And if you don't know what that is, redlining was basically a red line in various areas of the cities. So like black people, if they tried to fucking get a loan so they could get their own home, like the racism during that time was still pretty fucking deep. But like they redlined areas so that way if you try to get a loan or a mortgage, so that way you could get your own house, if you were black, that was not able to fucking happen. And I guess that was another one of those things that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 kind of got rid of. At this given point in time, it's like, we don't have that red line thing anymore. I don't know if it might have anything to do with that Civil Rights Act of 1964 being signed or not. I didn't actually look that far into it because, to be perfectly honest, I didn't even know what redlining was. I've heard of it in the past, but since I had no knowledge of it, I had no frame of reference to what it was about. But even still, like Charlie Kirk did point out the fact that black people were still thriving a little bit better before it was put into place. Sure, it might have been harder statistically, but they were still in a much more feasible position.
And everybody is taking this man and all these clips and misrepresenting him, all for the simple fact that people don't want to do better, that people hate knowledge. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 1:22.
This is kind of where I zone out.
Through 24. When will you fools stop hating knowledge? Fools hate knowledge. And that's all this man was giving out is knowledge. And if anybody saw fit that this man should be executed in front of his wife, kids, and thousands of people just because he was giving out knowledge, it's absolutely insane. And if anybody thought this was okay or warranted, it's absolutely insane. And we got to pray about your heart. And I pray over this country in the name of Jesus, Lord, that you begin to touch the hearts of the people here in this world, Lord. Their hearts are growing cold. They're beginning to love murder and death. They're beginning to love to see people suffering, good people suffering. And I'm just asking, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, that you come down here and you rest your soul on us and you open and soften the hearts of the people of the world who are constantly in rejection to you or the truth of any kind. We speak the truth and declare the truth no matter what in the name of Jesus amongst everybody.
Not all of us. I follow the universal law.
No matter how you feel about it, or no matter how your feelings get hurt, because all of this saving people's feelings and stopping people from getting offended is why somebody felt the need to go and assassinate somebody for having an opinion. We got to be careful what we listen to and what we fall for, and stop falling for the propaganda and lies that is being used to control us and tell us how to think instead of thinking for ourselves.
Let's see. I'm reminded of the written scripture of the kings of the Cottonmouth when they said, and I quote, "Think for yourself, man. Don't do like they do. It's a sick world. You just gotta stay true. Stay true and everything will be cool. You gotta make your own plans and make your own rules." End quote. And that's coming from a bunch of stoners that the juggalos themselves were like trying to say, "Oh yeah, D looks racist." No. And that was it. Like, I feel like that in and of itself, that entirety of what she said is factual. All it really takes is just think for yourself. Don't listen to what people fucking say and just take it as gospel. That's the problem that a lot of people have. And a lot of people also fucking say, "I currently live in Trump land." Well, you know what, pal? You're not the only one. I've been waiting for somebody to say something so I can put this hat on. No more bullshit. Which, by the way, I bought this at a fucking Indian gas station. It was the only one they had left. You goddamn right. And it's blue, so blue, because fuck you. Anyways, I also wanted to point this out. 2 last videos that I'm going to fucking put out. And I feel like that they're pretty important. Alright, so let me switch on over to this one. And I feel like this is a good time for me to put this fucking hat on. Because reasons.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal.
All right, so go ahead and put it in the chat if you know who the fuck this is.
And white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative.
Yep.
Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor.
I love that line. Although, like, this was definitely good for its time, I think in 1965. But here in 2025, I feel like that it is like to me, I take a look at Donald Trump and I'm pretty sure that he's heard this shit and he's like, I don't want to be like labeled in such a fashion where it's like this is the only difference between a Republican and a Democrat.
And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives.
which is basically fucking what that last lady was talking about, where it's like they keep you locked in with all of these promises of free shit, which isn't actually free shit. Like, on the surface, it's free shit, but you're not understanding where the money is coming from in order for it to be free shit.
The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism.
I love that word.
False promises of integration.
Oh, really? False promises. I agree with Malcolm X on this one. And the reason why is because, well, every time a fucking Democrat is like saying, we need to do this, we need to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then it never fucking happens. Why? Because they know that they can use it for the next fucking term. The next fucking term, they can promise this, that, and the other, and the black person will actually vote for it in belief of those promises, never fucking receives it. And hell, white people are in on that mix too, and they're all fucking stupid enough to continue voting these fuckers in.
And civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leaders who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition.
Yeah, that's basically it, man. It's fucking breadcrumbs.
Token gains. Token progress. In the New York Tribune, in an editorial dated February the 5th, 1960, they pointed out that out of 11 million qualified Negro voters, only 2,700,000 actually take time to vote. This means that, roughly speaking, only 3 million out of the 11 million Negroes who are qualified to vote take an active part, and the remaining 8 million remain voluntarily inactive. And yet it is this small minority, the 3 million Negro voters, who help determine who will be the next president. If who will be the next president can be influenced by 3 million Negro voters, it is easy to see why the presidential candidates of both political parties put on such a false show with the Civil Rights Bill and promises of integration.
Wow. I really didn't hear that much of this fucking speech. But let's hear that again.
Presidential candidates of both political parties put on such a false show with the Civil Rights Bill and promises of integration. They must impress the 3 million voting Negroes who are the actual integration seekers. And if so much fuss is made over these 3 million integration seekers, what would the presidential candidates have to do to appease the 8 million non-voting Negroes if they ever decided to become politically active? They hold the balance of power. Who are the 8 million non-voting Negroes?
This dude is a smooth talker, I'm not going to lie.
And why don't they vote? The 3 million Negro voters are the so-called middle-class Negroes, or high-class Negroes, or uppity Negroes, who are referred to by the late Howard University sociology professor E. Franklin Frazier as the black bourgeoisie, who have been educated to think as patriotic individualists with no racial pride whatsoever, who believe in and look forward to the future integrated, intermarried society that is constantly being promised to them by the Negro politician. And therefore, this integration-minded 3 million minority remain an active part of the white-controlled political parties. But it must never be overlooked that these 3 million Negro integration seekers are only a small minority.
All right, so let me read what Treeline's saying. I watched this and studied so much months and months back, went so deep into a hole. Then CK gets popped. Irony to the research. Yeah. You know, George Carlin ended up saying, you know, it's funny how there's so many people out there who try to initiate peace, and they're the ones who end up getting fucking shot. Jesus, Gandhi, fucking Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, JFK, RFK, they all said the same thing. Try to live peacefully and live in harmony with one another. Bam! Right in the fucking head. So I think that you get my point with this one. And even Malcolm X ended up saying that fucking the Civil Rights Act was basically a fucking ploy to try to get black people to fucking vote for their side. How's Charlie Kirk a racist? And I think we can end it with this last video, because I'm way over time, but fuck it, I'm going to do this anyways because I feel like that this really stretches out the other point, that the opposition tries to fucking say that Charlie Kirk was a Nazi.
Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
Das ist gut.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again.
By the way, this is from Babylon B. I know, but this is hammering in the point that I'm trying to make.
I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Okay, so by the way, she's wearing a Planned Parenthood shirt, and that button is a Free Palestine fucking pin. You're gonna love this conversation.
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror.
I mean, he's literally a fascist. He literally is the definition of fascism.
And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
Huh,
You
what does that sound?
want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No, no. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common.
Oh, yeah?
Is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Oh, gee. It's strange how this popped up before Charlie Kirk happened.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that. I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as, well, as Hitler. Listen.
The look on
what I'm
his
trying to
face.
say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
Yeah, what's that button say, fam? Yes. Yes.
So, in the future, you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do.
Oh, really?
I mean, except for, like, graduation ceremonies.
Uh-huh.
In dorms.
Okay.
And hiring practices.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I, too, am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm, or is this some kind of toy for kinder?
It's a...
I love the fact that he actually said the word kinder, because as soon as he said that, I was like, kindergarten. Holy shit, I actually know a German word.
Flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights,
Oh, here we go.
for women's empowerment,
And the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant.
Yeah, basically saying, okay, you can, like, just for the people who might not understand what that means, okay? It's basically convincing people to eradicate their own race by choice.
Very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
socialized healthcare. That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know?
Right here.
Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party. Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
There you go. And when you have somebody shooting somebody like Charlie Kirk, right? That is part of the National Socialists of America. Basically, it's kind of the same thing. The only difference is that it's like, okay, you have the National Socialist German Workers' Party, right? Here in America, it would be like the National Socialist America sit on the internet and bitch all day party and not work. Yeah. The term Nazi wasn't even claimed by them. It was a derogatory term created as an offense to them, to my understanding. Okay. In the UK, it's the Labour Party. Holy shit, they just changed the name, but it's basically the same thing. Now think about that too. Like, how many fucking people in the in democratic politics do you know that is like actively trying to work towards socialism? Because they think it's a good idea, but from what I understand, socialism and Marxism becomes communism, and we've all seen how that works in Russia.
This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate.
He wasn't right-wing, obviously. I mean, he might have been right-wing over there because, like, I understand that Canadian liberals are different than American liberals. So even in a different country, being left or right can mean a completely different thing than what it is in America.
And a vegetarian.
Let's see, it's ironic they call everyone Nazis because they can not see how twisted everything has become. Yeah, basically. Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian? Me too!
I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man who I've ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were.
Really?
And your painting is actually really good.
He was a good painter from what I understand.
What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Ein Reich ohne Juden. An empire without Jews. Oh yeah, you know who else drank water? Hitler. I already made that joke, Chronic.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
So to me, it's like, okay, who do you think is more along the hold on, Who do you think is more along the edge of fucking Nazism? Charlie Kirk or the people who gunned him down? Because as far as I've seen it, that dude was a good dude. Dude meant well. Oh, you missed a lot, Swill. As a matter of fact, I was wrapping up the evening. He gave the Jews in Germany safe passage to Palestine and started the Havara Agreement also. Who are you talking about? Stalin? See, what I found through those months of research is that Stalin and his friends were 10 times worse, factually speaking. Yeah, I mean, Stalin killed more people than Hitler did. He gave the Jews in Germany safe passage to Palestine and started the Havara Agreement also. Yeah, he was a C, he was a CH, he was a CHRESEIAN. Now, like, personally, I think that he did good things, and all he really wanted to do was just open up debate and to help people think for themselves and think critically. Especially in a world that we live in where there's a lot of people out there who don't fucking do that, especially with people like, and I see it in our own group. I see it in a group, in the Juggalo group, there's a lot of people who really don't fucking think for themselves. And they just kind of go along with it, and there's a lot of us that are uneducated and don't want to fucking listen to what other people have to say. They don't want to fucking educate themselves, and they just kind of go along and believe whatever it is that is being told to them. He based a lot of his ideals on the Bible. Well, same thing with the foundation of America. America was actually founded on a lot of biblical fucking things. Yeah, and 89 is correct. Politics does matter. And believe me when I say that I used to not think that for the longest fucking time. I remember having a conversation with a coworker of mine, and he was trying to talk to me about politics and stuff. This was like back in 2004. And I told him that I didn't pay attention to politics. I didn't understand, or I didn't think that politics really affected anything in my life. And he's like, when you get older, you'll realize that politics affects a lot of shit. And looking at the way things have been going for the last 10 years and what's going to be going on for the next 3 years and possibly another 4 years after that, it's definitely going to be affecting my life as well as a lot of other people's lives. And I'm going to say this just like I've said in the past, with as much blind hatred that people have for Donald Trump and his policies and his the way that he runs things, even though it seems to be working because gas is finally stabilizing under $3 a gallon right now here in the state of Michigan. I can only imagine what it's going to be like for those motherfuckers when he gets out of office. People in our country, especially on the left-leaning side, have dedicated their lives to politics so fucking far that it's become an identity to them. And hating Donald Trump has been their pièce de résistance. Like, they can't fucking not hate Donald Trump. And it's like, I can't help but wonder, after Trump is done with this term, what are they going to do? Let's see. I can't do the politics. It affects things, but you can't really do anything about it. Even voting only goes so far as the peasants. I agree with you on that one, Swill, like keeping that in mind, but also at the same time, I feel that it is healthy for public discourse, not screaming at each other and trying to force somebody else to believe what it is that you believe. You can actually do a lot more with honey than you can with hot sauce. Yeah, no shit, man. I love you too, Swill. Swill's a good dude. If you haven't followed him already here on YouTube, you better do it, or you're a fucking Juff. And that is probably one of the fewest absolute things I will fucking say. Other than that, it's like, okay, look, a lot of the stuff that I say on here basically is my own opinion, so don't shoot me for that. My opinion is my opinion. And if you're willing to try to fucking sway me on that, stop killing motherfuckers. Simple as that. Because trust me when I say I won't listen to you if you fucking scream at me. I won't listen to you if you try to tell me how wrong I am. And if you're in fucking celebration of the death of a man because you believed that he was something that he wasn't, fuck you. Simple as that. As I said before, there are people that I have been friends with for very long periods of time, and I am more than willing to fucking swear off those people forever because of their attitude. I don't want to fucking be a part of people that celebrate the death of a person, especially now that that person's spouse and children are now without a father. And I will use that as fucking ammo. And the reason why is because I can sympathize. On the real. I can actually sympathize because I'm a father too. And I even asked my son before I fucking started this show. I ended up asking him, you know, like, would you know what to do if I was not in your life? And he said no. Even at the age of 9, like, he understands a little bit about what that would mean. And never again am I going to have somebody convince me to not talk about something on my own fucking channel. I was thinking about not doing politics, and of course this shit happened, and combining that with other people who have been friends of mine for years telling me that they stopped supporting my show because of me talking about my political views. No, that's not happening. If anything, now I'm going to fucking double down. Because fuck you. With that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody that came in watching and participating up in the chat. I do appreciate you guys for coming in and watching this with me, having discourse with me. I hope to go back to the Juggalo shit next week. And if something else big fucking happens on the side of politics, I'm not going to force it. But if something big fucking happens, I will come back with that in mind. So I'm out this bitch. See you guys next week. Deuces. Thank you, Super Bears. I appreciate that shit. I really do.